All right, let's see what the fuck CNN is saying.
The alleged crime, but that's not what we have right now. And again, as Chief Ramsey pointed out, and Chief Ramsey's been around a long time and he's lived this experience, the first story is never right. But we believe that the information we're getting from our sources, which is the flash reporting coming from law enforcement on the scene, is going to be a pretty close composite to how this unfolded. That gun will have to be processed for DNA, for fingerprints. So what the practice that I've always used at the scene, that my colleagues always used at the scene, is if the gun fell with the serial number facing up, to take a picture of it, and then not to handle that weapon at all, because you don't want to add any biological material or disturb it before the lab people get to it. You want to give it to them as pristinely as possible.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. I want to bring in senior justice correspondent Evan Perez, who's with us now. You have more information on someone detained?
That's right, Fred. The authorities there, Secret Service, on the scene, were able to detain a person. Now, obviously, as John just making reference, a lot of this is very early information from law enforcement. A lot of times it's, it's just the heat of the moment, and they're trying to report what they have at the scene. But at this point, what they're saying is that they've detained a person. Now, they believe this is a person who was connected to this scene. And, the reason why they were shot.
Bro, I don't get it. Like, Americans love their fucking guns. It seems like everyone's got a gun. Okay? It seems like every goddamn American has a gun. And they're just so ass at shooting. Okay? How is that possible? We got our shit cleaned out by fucking Koreans, an old 52-year-old Turkish man. Like, they don't even have guns in their country, and they were much better shots than us, okay, at the Olympics. And it's like, we don't even have, there's zero fucking good shooters at the Olympics, zero fucking good shooters in terms of political assassination attempts. Like, look at Japan, dog. Those motherfuckers don't even have guns. Look at Japan. They don't even have guns, and that guy fucking pulled one off. It's kind of crazy. Like, this is not a political statement about like Donald Trump or anything like that. Okay. It's just kind of shocking how bad Americans are at shooting. Because like at the end of the day, like the goal of shooting is supposed to be like hitting a target. And it's wild that like just bad. Americans are just bad at fucking shooting guns, it seems, objectively. Like, marksmanship is barely considered in the military. Yeah, like what the fuck? I think we got far too invested in our like military superiority. Okay? Like back in the day, during World War II, you had like female Red Army snipers. You know what I mean? Like stories were told about like, Russian snipers that just like sat in a fucking clock tower and just like popped off and like, and stayed in a position and like stopped the Nazi forces from advancing for weeks on end. You know what I mean? And I feel like with America nowadays, for us, basically, we just, we get shot at. We're in Afghanistan. We're like holding a fucking, I don't know, hash field or something. We get shot at. One of the dudes gets like their dick shot off. And then immediately they call in air support and they just spray an entire fucking they spray the entire countryside and then they fuck off with it. Like there's no art to it. You know what I mean? There is no art to it at all. Like we've gotten too invested in the fact that we have like air superiority over all of our enemies who are in sandals for the most part, using the weapons we gave them like 20, 30, 40 fucking years ago, that like we don't even care. We don't even care about shooting good.
Who's being investigated to determine whether he was the person involved in this. The tracing of the gun might become less critical if that suspect turns out to be a good suspect in this case. If that suspect turns out to be not the person involved, then the tracing of the gun, of course, and all of this will happen simultaneously, becomes more critical.
Steve Moore, what about what you would see seemingly simple, cross-referencing of fingerprints. I know we talked about not compromising the weapon, but if you have someone detained, you have a vehicle and possible fingerprints on this AK-47, might those be lifted right away with a cross-referencing or a comparison?
Well, the problem with fingerprinting the gun right away is if you do it quickly in order just to get fingerprints, you're possibly destroying DNA evidence and other evidence that would be crucial.
Where can you buy an AK? Dog, this is the United States of America. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Fucking anywhere, I think. A store, a gun show, online. You can win one, probably at the country fair, I suspect, depending on like which state you're in. You could probably win it at the county fair. They literally, it's like on accident, Once I was walking down the street and they were like, "Hey, you want a fucking Glock?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" They beat your ass if you don't have a weapon in this country. You walk into the CVS and they're like, "Here's a free gun." Dog, they were floating the idea of vending machines for ammunition, okay? They were, and it was like they set it up. They set up like a video game, vending machines for ammo. What the fuck are we talking about?
Right now, a lot of information, but the fact that it's been this long now, they said 3:15, now it's about 3:40. Tells me there's more again to this story than just
bro.
Random shots being fired outside the.
Look at this. Look. Not your everyday promo. Laura's company offering free AR-15 with purchase of air conditioning unit. Buy an HVAC system, get a free AR-15. That's real, but it's not just that. If you remember, Daniel Defense. If you want to know how fucking insane this country is. After one of the school shootings, and it was I think it was Parkland, if I'm not mistaken, Daniel Defense literally had a giveaway at the NRA convention for the exact weapon. Oh, it was Uvalde. In Texas, the NRA convention was in Texas after Uvalde. No, it was Uvalde. Okay? The NRA convention was held in Texas immediately after Uvalde, okay? Daniel Defense, which is a manufacturer, actually had the exact weapon that the shooter used, okay? The exact weapon that the shooter used, and they were doing a giveaway of the exact weapon that the shooter used in Uvalde, like a week after the Uvalde shooting, with, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 1,000 rounds of ammo. They literally had a gun giveaway. It was like one of those sweepstakes. Same thing happened in Colorado after Columbine. NRA convention held, I think, literally a week after Columbine. Yeah. An NRA charity planned to raffle an AR-15 at a Texas event. Then Uvalde families protested and the group lost its sight. The ammo vending machine is real. No, I know, man. What are you talking about? I know the ammo vending machine is real. Company debuts vending machines selling ammunition in 3 southern states. Yes. It's not even a joke. NRA gives away assault rifles used in the Uvalde shooting, backs gun rights. Yeah. Banned guns giveaway. NRA is giving away 12 world-class guns. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi want a ban. One of the guns that they were giving away was the exact same gun because the shooter used a Daniel Defense rifle on that one. It's not a joke. Like, I understand, okay? America is very similar to Israel in that regard where, like, sometimes I say something about Israel and you go, that's got to be anti-Semitic. You're probably making this up. It's got to be blood libel. And then you look it up and you're like, oh my God, it's real, right? America is the exact same where it's like, haha, okay, cartoonish. maybe laying it on a little too thick. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, Americans love their guns. Like, well, what's next? You're going to tell me that they marry their guns in church? And then you find out there's literally a church in Pennsylvania where people do get married with their guns. And you're like, what the fuck is going on in this country? We are spiritually broken. What is this? Remember this classic moment from the beginning of this year? There's probably at least one instance where a dog accidentally misfired on their owner. There are guns everywhere in this country, okay? There are guns basically flowing out of water fountains. It's less likely, it's harder to go to a place in the United States of America where there are no guns than a place where there are. In the United States of America, we have sexual intercourse with our guns. In the United States of America, we actually unironically marry our guns. That's true. Up there you go. Told you. Man shot dead after dog steps on hunting rifle's trigger. Called it. Man shot dead. German Shepherd was in the back of a car. The victim was in the front seat. January 26, 2023. That was last year. What is this? I've been briefed on reports of gunshot fired near former President Trump and his property in Florida, and I'm glad he's safe. Violence has no place in America. Dude, it's so funny. It's so funny that like all of the like anti-woke accounts get so libbed up when it's big President Donald Trump, Big Daddy, who's in the crosshairs. They're like, you did this. Words are violence. End wokeness. You called him a threat to democracy and a day one dictator. You own this. It's like, dude, no one believes you. Okay? You can cry all day, every day. We know what your account looks like, man. You can't just be like, words are violence, sweetie. You like, if words are violence, like you're trying to kill Haitians right now. Like that's your goal. Last week, you were trying to kill trans people. This week, you're trying to kill Haitians. And by the way, you are actively doing that. Okay? You can't fucking personally be like, words are violence after just like doing a week-long insane like moral panic about Haitians eating cats and shit. Donald Trump directly calls out, makes direct calls for violence on a regular fucking basis. Like, what is Kamala Harris saying that is like calling violence against Donald Trump? That like she wants to do his border proposal? That's really fucking violent, dude. I can't believe it. Democrats are too pussy to actually fucking do anything about the Republican Party, let alone use strong language when discussing the Republican Party. Okay? Nobody believes this shit. Violence has no place in America is so funny. We are the most violent nation, dude. Most men in Afghanistan literally fuck their rifles too. We gonna go after them? What? Please look at this person's gun takes. Gun lovers are evolving to blame hospitals. Wait, what? You don't just get a firearm without background checks. Every firearm transfer requires background checks. You don't actually get a firearm regardless of how you want to try to put it. This literally, you're wrong about that. Like, objectively, you're wrong. Well, I don't know why you're saying that. It's just not correct. It's completely, what you just said is just completely incorrect. What? You still need to go through a background check. You don't just get firearm people. Use your fucking heads. Your problem is with hospitals, not the laws. The laws state people who aren't mentally competent to have firearms cannot own firearms. The hospital fucked up here by ruining the integrity of the background check. I'd love to blame this on the government and the laws, but the laws are in place. I guess you have no issue with closing the loopholes and advocating for universal background checks which is a policy that is like has 90% approval rating. I suspect that you're on board with that, including red flag laws applied at the federal level. Huh? No, Donnie gave me the bad news. The Trump breaking news pushed the misinfo nation back. I knew it. I knew this was going to happen. Fuck. I literally said, I hope it doesn't push that back. Damn it. I fucking went live for that too. That's crazy. I could have taken the goddamn day off. I guess I got to finish Wukong now. No, you do need a background check for a legal transfer. A personal transfer doesn't require a background check, but acquiring one from an FLL does. Conspiracy to push your segment back? Yeah, I know. Can we still watch the Talk to a podcast? Probably not. It premieres in 6 hours because CNN is just going to farm the Trump shooting
here
all
at the
day.
White House, both Vice President Kamala Harris and current President Biden are here in Washington, D.C. They are not on the campaign trail. They have no events on their public schedule. We received a statement from a White House official early on in this incident, just in the last hour, expressing similar, that they both had been briefed and they both are relieved that he is safe. Notably, that statement did not express what Vice President Harris did in hers. She added at the end, violence has no place in America. So certainly signifies, as we learn more about this incident, potentially what happened, potentially what the motive is, notable that the Vice President here reiterating that violence should not be in politics in America at this time. Fred?
All right, silence of
It's
Friday.
so funny when politicians are like, I can't believe this. Like, violence should have no place. Violence should have no place in America is such a funny take because like it's literally everywhere. The only place where it doesn't happen is like at the tippy top. So I guess like maybe it's personalizing the violence that like everyday Americans experience on a fucking regular goddamn basis. So for the first time, it's like actually politicians that are experiencing it. That's the only difference here. I love when politicians say like violence has no place in politics. It's like, the fuck do you mean? It happens everywhere all the time. There's like a mass shooting every day in the United States of America. You're basically just saying, you guys are fine if you kill each other, but if you try to shoot at us, then all of a sudden, whoa, the fuck's going on? Everybody calm down. It's like, no, that's the most American shit, dude. Okay? It's the most American shit. You know, maybe they're democratizing that violence for once. Like, hey, do something about it, okay? Here's a good idea. If you're fearful, do something about it. Maybe they'll be asked to actually fucking do something about it now that it's like actually happening to them too. You know, all of a sudden they're not a school child going to school or a teacher or a random person at the grocery store or a mall. So now they're like, whoa. This is not supposed to happen to us. That's all that is. For me, that's all. When I hear that, when I hear a fucking Democrat or a Republican, when I hear a politician say violence has no place in politics, like they have to say that, obviously, but also, for me, I think they're simply saying like, it's not supposed to happen to us. You fucking peasants, you can kill each other all day. We won't do a goddamn thing about it, okay? Now, I'm not going to shit on the Democrats too much because like, this is one issue where they are on the correct side, like objectively, you know, they are objectively on the right side on this issue. It's like Republicans, especially, that are so completely on the wrong side of this issue that it's just like it's one of those culture war issues where like the Democrats have firmly held their ground on their position and their commitment. But, you know,
start pointing to others that may be involved. Again, the Secret Service, local law enforcement, and the FBI, who will now be taking over the lead role in the investigation of, again, another attempted assassination potentially of the former president. What are all of those entities doing? What is their role and responsibility? Again, if you think about, what the reporting has been to date, we also understand that Secret Service agents returned fire and potentially pursued the suspect. Again, so now we have another complexity, which is an agent-involved shooting. That's another investigation by the local prosecutors in the U.S. Attorney's Office that will also open up. So again, very complicated landscape, not too different than the early hours around the attempted assassination.
Someone just said Trump should drop out for his own safety.
Time ago. So the expectations coming out of this
True,
is
we
that
care
there is
about
a
him.
plan to investigate this shooting, reinsure the public that they are
We want to
safe,
make sure he's
and
safe.
be transparent about what does the future hold in terms of the investigation.
All right, I want to thank everybody. John Miller, Charles Ramsey, Steve Moore, Jonathan Wackrow. Appreciate all of you. We're going to continue to follow this breaking news. Former President Trump's campaign saying he is safe after gun.
Bro, this is literally like when God gave Biden COVID. Okay? Yo, God was like, dude, drop out. Now it's like God is telling you something, Trump. You should probably listen. Okay? God's like, come on, dog. Get out of this race. It's over. It's done. It's a sign, dude. I said lightning never strikes twice. I was wrong. Okay? I'll cop to it. I'll own up. I'll own up to my faults. Okay? As we await a briefing from officials, here's what CNN knows so far. A person has been detained connected to the incident at Trump International Golf Club, according to a law enforcement source. Secret Service fired at the suspect, according to multiple sources, and a long gun has been recovered. Officials believe an armed individual intended to target Trump, per John Miller, CNN, and Evan Perez. Laura Loomer, I am driving to West Palm Beach, Florida to cover the attempted assassination of President Trump. I'll be posting updates from the scene once I get there. Protect President Trump at all costs. Now, I'm no big city lawyer, but Donald Trump did say he hates Taylor Swift far too close to this attempted assassination, as far as we know. Okay? Look, I'm no big city lawyer, but don't fuck with the Swifties, dog. That's all I'm going to say, okay? I don't know where fucking Cutie is. No, I'm just kidding. You know the shooters were white because they haven't called them terrorists or immigrants yet? I mean, I hope. As always, okay, as always, we are praying. We are praying that it's yet another registered Republican white guy, okay? The whitest man you've ever seen. Because God forbid it's anything else. If it's anything else, we're so cooked, okay? Scenes if the shooter is anyone but a white man. Oh my God, oh my Lord. It is kind of funny that how unserious I'm taking this. Like, it is kind of funny how unserious I'm taking this story that is like supposed to be objectively a serious story because of how unserious of a nation we have become. Like, it's over. It's already normalized. You know what I mean? It's already a thing that happened once and nothing changed.
Anyway, so long story.
Here's Sean Hannity. Hannity says the Secret Service used a drone camera to ID a suspect. Sean Hannity was called in.
Anyway, so long story short is President Trump, they were on the fifth hole. They were about to go up to putt.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hannity's got direct updates. He's so distraught. Look at him. He's like, my boyfriend was shot at. It's fucked up. Here, let's hear what he has
Moving
to say.
forward, whatever shocked Senator Blumenthal into saying that the public will be shocked and appalled at what we learned about Butler, it really, I shudder to think on top of that, what happened today, because a gun, a rifle, high-powered rifle, got within short range of President Trump.
Oh my God, they're talking about it like liberals. Oh my God. He said a long-barreled assault-style weapon.
To get
they must
a
be
description
banned.
of the vehicle, the individual,
Hey,
because of drone footage, credit for that. But why did he have any access to that distance with that rifle around a president? That has to be asked. That has to be answered.
Sean, those are excellent questions that we do
gun-free
need to have
zone.
answered. This is our continuing coverage of today's breaking news. Everyone, hello. I'm Arthel Neville alongside Eric Shaw.
Damn, bitch. Now you want to fucking Damn, bitch, now you want gun control? How you gonna fucking turn around and be like, oh, an assault style weapon, a high-powered assault style weapon with a long barrel was near the vicinity of our president, our big, beautiful president, Donald Trump. Excuse me, we need to do something about this. How is this happening? Damn, Hannity, I thought we were on board. I thought we were gunned up, dog. I thought you were a real one. The answer is more good guys with guns, dude. More good guys with guns. The fuck do you mean? The fuck do you mean? Why are you calling out the type of gun that the assailant was using, bro? What are you, a fucking libtard? Shut the fuck up, Hannity, bitch.
And the way Steve Witkoff, now, just as a little bit of background, Arthel, I happened to go to breakfast with Steve Witkoff and another friend of mine this morning. And I was invited to play golf. They happen to be really good golfers. I don't have a lot of time to play golf, so I said thank you, but I'm not going to go out on the golf course and get killed out there. But long story short, so they were on the fifth hole. And the way Steve described this, the way the president described it, they both had exactly the same story, which was that they heard pop, 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 pop. And Steve went into great specificity and great detail as to what happened right after. Within seconds, the Secret Service pounced on the president, covered him. You had snipers with tripods. They knew the direction where the shots had been fired, and they had eyes on the location where the shots had been fired. And long story short, they were. I have confirmed with both the president and with Mr. Witkoff that the gun has been found. They identified it as an AK-47. And thanks to Secret Service drone video coverage, they were able to identify one individual involved in this shooting getting into a car after dropping the AK-47. And my understanding, according to both of them, is that that car has been identified, and I believe it's been surrounded. Whether or not that person has been apprehended or not, I don't know. This happened in a matter of seconds. A little more color, a little bit more details on this is that when they got on top of the president, immediately what is called a fast cart that I believe has steel reinforcement and protection was able to whisk the president away. And then the Secret Service immediately sprung into action.
They pounced on him. But where was Laura Loomer? This is what happens when you push aside the throat goat, okay?
They had eyes on where the shooting had occurred. I saw the New York Post report that these were two people shooting at each other outside the course. I do know, and they did confirm that the shots were outside of the course, but certainly seemingly within range of the former president. So we don't have any details on any of that. They don't know that part. I only know the part of what they experienced while they were playing golf at Trump International in West Palm. Thankfully, the president is safe. Steve Witkoff is safe. The Secret Service apparently acted with incredible speed and professionalism, and but certainly alarming in every way imaginable in light of what happened in Butler, as you mentioned.
Yeah, of course, this is very alarming. And Sean, have you spoken to the former president or texted with him?
I have spoken with the president 3 times since this incident, and each time I got a new piece of information. One, that they had found, first of all, what happened with the shooting. The second thing, that they had found an AK-47. Third, right, that their drone footage was able to give them enough surveillance to identify the exact car.
I'm not going to lie. Low key, this chatter that I kind of originally said had like a unique take, but I don't know if I fully agree with. I kind of fuck with the vision chatter. So Destillat P originally was the one who suggested that most of the mass shootings, like school shootings, overwhelmingly occur at public schools, right? And he was like, if they were happening at the same frequency in private schools, like, I think rich people have a very different attitude about mass shootings in general and school shootings in general. And at the time I was like, I don't know about that. I feel like school shootings are like pretty fucking commonplace. But this does democratize the likelihood of a shooting happening to people in positions of power. So like, you know, they do change their attitude pretty quickly, like pretty interestingly. I'm telling you, if there were not private schools for rich folks to send their kids to and they had to share a school with the rest of us, guns would be banned. Like I see where you're going with this. Because like Trump released a statement. Let's see what he had to say. Piers Morgan. There were gunshots in my vicinity, but before rumors start spiraling out of control, I wanted you to hear this first. I am safe and well. Nothing will slow me down. I will never surrender. I will always love you for supporting me. Unity, peace, make America great again. May God bless you, Donald J. Trump. Are we pro school shooting now? Dude, you have to. Did you get shot in the fucking head? Like, is there a bullet lodged in the back of your dome that you arrived at this conclusion? Please, chatter. Jesus Christ. One thing I do know is that copycats exist, right? Like, once there was one guy that did it, other people will try to do it as well in order to either make a name for themselves or whatever. If they find this to be like a mechanism where they can get like fame, instead of going to fucking schools or malls or whatever, they might like actually start opening fire on Donald Trump over and over again. At which case, we might actually get some fucking gun control, which is crazy. You know, I guess that's the silver lining of the situation overall. Megaphonics, stop.
That the individual involved in this shooting got into, and further detail that they gave me was that they were updated and told that.
Yeah, confirmed by CNN, the shooter didn't actually shoot. Evan Perez said on CNN's live coverage, the reason why there were shots fired was from the Secret Service side is they believe this person was poised to fire shots, perhaps in the direction of the former president. They were trying to prevent this from happening. They also, ironically, missed because the shooter was, I believe, arrested. So either they, like, yeah, they didn't even hurt him.
Former presidents do not receive, of course, the same level of security as sitting presidents do. But I'm going to end with the way I began this interview. Don't you think it's time that he get near the level, perhaps, of a sitting president? It does take more resources.
No, too many drain on our resources. No, they should not do that.
With local law enforcement.
No.
But at least close the streets, for God's sake.
No, I don't think so.
You can hide in some bushes, and by the stroke and luck of God, a Secret Service agent saw a muzzle in bushes and was able to prevent a tragedy.
Yeah, you're right. And it may have been an act of God, like you said. And like I said, the accolades to the Secret Service agent, which I'm assuming probably a counter-assault team guy up the head at the time, was trained very well to do that. But I think you're right. I think that they need to do an assessment of all, current or incumbent presidents, nominees.
How will you pay for it? We have to shut down the entire fucking country every time Trump wants to golf? Suck my dick. Nah. Tell him to stay the fuck at home, bro. Stay at home. Stay at home, big dog. Can't do it. Plus, I don't think he'll want to do it anyway. Like, actually, he won't even want to do it, in my opinion. Because, like, he's got to be a little scared.
Addressing, what went wrong and how do we address it in the future?
We will hear a lot more about this. Keith Hozak, a former supervisory agent with the U.S. Secret Service. Keith, thank you, and thank you for your service to our nation, protecting.
Thank you. You have a wonderful day.
The people we elect. Ollie?
Now time to bring in former FBI investigator.
Bro, I wholeheartedly disagree with you. It's the president. No, it's not. It's the former president, not the current president. Stay at home. If you can win, that's a little different. Okay? There's already there's a finite amount of resources. I'm sorry. I'm a fucking small government conservative. Okay? I'm a small government conservative. I believe in fiscal responsibility. I'm a budget hawk. Okay? I'm a budget hawk. I believe in fiscal responsibility. I'm a small government conservative. And as a small government conservative, I believe it costs far too much for Donald Trump to be golfing. Okay? Wouldn't you want those standards for Kamala? No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. No, I would not. Kamala Harris is not the president. She's the vice president. She already has a higher level of protection than Donald Trump because she's the vice president. Guess what, bitch? You gotta win. If you want that protection, you gotta win. Sorry. If you want that level of protection, you gotta win, bitch. You can't lose and then demand the same level of protection. You can't do that. Why should the American taxpayer and also random Tom, Dicks, and Harrys that fucking want to go home to their wives have to sit around and not be able to go home to their wives because Donald Trump wanted to golf that day? Get the fuck out of here. Suck my dick. No, I'm not memeing. I am a small government conservative. Okay, you just have never seen a real goddamn patriot before. Hasan, you've turned into such a biased whiner. Wait, what? I don't think I'm the one who's whining here, nor the one who's biased. I already told you, I don't give a shit about Kamala Harris's needs in terms of security either, but I don't have to because she's the vice president, so she does have a higher level of security than a person running for president. Sorry. I'm not biased, he says, Law. Well, first of all, I am so biased, but I'm willing to bet you have no idea what my biases are because you probably think I fucking love Kamala Harris or some shit because you're a goddamn idiot. And you are entirely too focused on black and white thinking when it comes to American politics. Okay, what are we doing? We got to give everybody a Secret Service detail? Yeah, when he wins, he'll get it. Okay, he already has the Secret Service detail as a former president. It's a higher level of Secret Service detail than anyone that's currently running for president would ever get just for running for president. So he already has that. Former presidents have lifetime Secret Service for themselves and also their family members. That's enough as it is. Losers don't get extra security.
Tsarnaev, they invoked essentially what was a public safety exception. If this individual that they have now, the suspect in custody, is that something that could be going on? We don't know if this was a lone actor or not yet. We have little information about this person.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, in cases where there may be an immediate threat to the public or other individuals, is that, that exception can be made, and they, as they would, for instance, in a terrorist incident, to see whether or not there are other compatriots out there, whether there's other plans, and be able to kind of thwart those plans and make sure that other people are safe. So it's very possible that they may decide to take that approach on it. I think. This whole issue of kind of digital footprint, we need to also kind of look and say, my view when I'm hearing this,
I think the funniest problem here is that, like, because of the likelihood of repeat customers, because of the way that, like, these sorts of attacks work, Trump is looking real school-like right now, if you know what I'm saying. Like, that is unironically the funniest outcome of all of this is that, like, people who want to, like, make a name for themselves are probably going to try and do this again now. Which is, you're saying, bruh, Lamau, but like, this is the only way to bring about like gun control, I think. Like, I think they literally now are probably going to try to do this over and over again. They're most likely going to get like killed in the attempts. But like, because it's becoming like an actual problem, a problem that if you're an average American, if you go to public school, you have to deal with that fear on a daily basis. Presidents don't, okay? You have to deal with that on a daily basis. Presidents don't have to deal with that on a daily basis. But the moment that they just have to deal with that on a daily basis, all of a sudden, the moment that they look like a fucking school, a soft target that people that want to make a name for themselves can just like fucking attack, you'll get some gun control real fucking quick, dog. I'm telling you. That's what's crazy about it. That's what's crazy about it is that whenever they say violence has no place in our politics, it's like, bitch, our entire politics is violent, number one. Number two, violence is happening on a rapid clip on a daily basis to Americans all the time, okay? Like literally all the time. There's mass shootings happening daily. There's school shootings happening weekly. What do you mean violence is not, there's no place for violence in America? It's like, no, violence is all we know. We're like feral animals, dude. What you mean to say is it shouldn't be happening to us, people in positions of power. That's it. That's it. That's what they mean when they say like, "Oh, there's no place for this here." They mean like there's no place for the that for us. The failing New York Times is a true threat to democracy. I mean, he's right. He ain't wrong about that.
Directions in this vehicle containment technique where they've blocked him in on 3 sides, so he can be nothing but calm. And he was compliant with the commands they gave him, and then he was taken into custody. So a lot went right today, and a lot came together.
Well, and Andrew McCabe, when you look at this, and Wolf, I was just thinking about this, when you look at what we're hearing from officials, and you see those 2 pictures there of the backpacks that were left at the scene that they found inside these bushes. On the right side of your screen, on the left, that's a GoPro camera, officials said, that was mounted on the fence, and then 2 bags as well. Andrew McCabe, when you're an investigator and you're looking into that, I mean, it clearly speaks to some kind of premeditation here of what they're looking into when they're talking to this suspect who was in the.
Dude, I'm telling you, GunTuber is so funny. Like this being potentially a GunTuber makes this. Oh, peak.
That is done because this person, whoever he is, here clearly had the capacity to engage in that sort of structured and organized thought, which is a big piece of this, because that will undermine, and that can undermine a lot of different defenses at trial. So you have someone who had the wherewithal, the financial.
Oh my
ability.
God. Oh my God. Someone in the chat says something brilliant and really funny. Do you think these are time travelers that are trying to stop him from becoming president? I do now. I didn't before. I do now. Oh my God.
Bullet. So this is someone who went through a lot of effort to really plan this out. I think we also have to remember that they somehow knew where to go. They had some indication maybe that Trump was playing golf on this day. We don't know that for a fact yet, but that's something that investigators are going to be looking for. Obviously picked this location as one of tactical advantage, likely because of the cover provided by the foliage and the bushes that he was hiding himself with. Probably had some advanced knowledge of how the golf course is laid out and where the former president would be proceeding from one hole to another. So this is all a very high degree of planning, which is great evidence for the prosecution. And finally, just recovering these backpacks with the stuff in them and the vehicle that he was driving in when he was arrested, you have a gold mine of evidence here, forensic evidence that will tie, likely, this person they arrested to that backpack in that place with the weapon at the same time. So all those little pieces come together. They all seem to be likely lining up in a very damning way for this person. And that's what the investigators and the prosecutors will be looking at next.
And Andrew, a very quick question before we let you go. They said at the briefing that the suspect with his rifle, the AK-47 with a scope, was between 300 and 500 yards away from Trump. But then they said that is not a far distance given the capability of this AK-47 with a scope. You agree with that that's not a far distance?
It's not a far distance. The rifle is definitely capable of it. The scope makes it easier to do. It's still going to require some degree of training and practice on the part of the shooter, but that's not hard to do in this country, right? A lot of people engage in that sort of stuff, shooting sports and things like that. So, yeah, this is definitely a possible shot for a decently trained marksman. So, and it's also been done before. Let's not forget that in 2011, you had Oscar Ramiro Ortega Hernandez, who fired 7 shots at the White House from Constitution.
Dude, when are the fucking conspiracies rolling in? That's what I want to know. Like, who's got the best Lebanon takes? You know what I mean? Who's got the best blue MAGA takes? I feel like they kind of went away with Joe Biden going away. But like, I want to hear motherfuckers be like, this is fake. He staged it himself. He didn't get the He didn't get. Okay, here. Okay. Blue and on. Are you ready? I'm putting on my blue and on cap. Hold on. Let me put my blue and on cap. 1 second. Okay. I'm putting on my. Pulling on my blue and on cat. Okay. It's an AK-47 style rifle, which means they got it directly from Moscow. The shooter was never actually going to shoot Donald Trump. He didn't even get killed, as a matter of fact. Russian agent Vladimir Putin wanted to make Trump look good by surviving yet another assassination attempt. We will not believe that. Okay? It's 5 o'clock in Moscow, sweetie. It's 5 o'clock in Moscow, sweetie. Vladimir Putin, Vladdy Poo, you will not be fooling this powerful man, this feminist man who cares about abortion rights. I will be voting for Kamala Harris and wearing my Hamilton merch as I go to the polls. Vladdy Poo. This is why you get rated so low on the factual information chart. If you think that is not Lebanon take, that's not a fire Lebanon take, I don't know what to fucking tell you. That's facts. It's such a fucking flaming hot Lebanon take that it hasn't even come out yet, okay? I just wrote it into existence, bitch. This liberal will be walk Tua to the polls. No, Hawk Tua is too like right-wing coded. Blue and on still going strong. Secret Service Special Agent in charge of Miami Field Office, Rafael Barrow, says it's not yet clear if suspect fired any shots. Nope, I'm sorry. I'm 100% certain no one shot at Trump today, and anyone who wants me to think otherwise will have to come with a lot of hard evidence. Wait, this is correct, though. She was right. Blue Anon was right. HOTTOGO. You can see me hard to go to the poll. Yeah! Yeah! Lib Anon, baby!
Still has not been able to come out with a motive in that case, and there's a possibility there may not be a motive in this case. There were some shootings, and this was not a shooting today, and the former president thankfully was not hurt, but there are cases where there are no motives. That may not be the situation here. It's just too early to tell, given the fact this is only 4 hours old. They're still talking to him, figuring things out, going
Charlie
through
Kirk,
his social
what?
media, seeing if he had stuff written down. But the advantage that law enforcement has here that they did not have in the case in Pennsylvania.
Charlie Kirk is like, Charlie Kirk apparently found the guy's Twitter, but won't say it. Brother, you still left Wukong in the title? Diabolical? Bro, it's fun day still. I will still be playing fucking Wukong later. Okay? I will still be playing Wukong later. I promise. I'm a proud Swiftie, and I'm in my voting eras. Yes! Yes, sweetie! Yes, sweetie. He doesn't look like he's 58, and that's why I'm saying it's like libtard theory, okay? Because like a Republican who's 58 would look way worse. You know what I mean? He's too skinny to be a fucking Republican. I'm gonna be honest with you. He could be a crank, though. He could still be a crank. Oh, my God. Okay, I got another one. Okay. What if he's a RFK Jr. supporter who's really mad? RFK Jr. supporter who's really mad that RFK actually said, yeah, ain't no fucking Republicans got cum gutters, dude. What are we talking about? I mean, he's an RFK Jr. supporter who's really mad that RFK Jr. actually endorsed Donald Trump. Nah, Florida Republicans come in all different shapes and sizes. Bro, those are meth gutters. Come on. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't strike me as a tweaker. He just looks, I don't know why, I got lib vibes off of him. As soon as I saw the photo, I was like,
September
he's got some
15th.
libtard ass vibes, but
I
we don't
think
know.
brings that to the forefront. As far as his vehicle, he was in a black SUV. What's not clear is perhaps was the SUV thought to be law enforcement. Law enforcement travels.
Okay, I got another one. I got another theory. I mean, I already gave this theory away, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to repeat it for all the new people that are coming in just now. Laura Loomer's ex-boyfriend. Laura Loomer's ex-boyfriend from Lovers to Enemies, okay? Fucking real mad that Donald Trump is hitting that now. He's like, I can't. When I saw him on television say she's a fiery woman, I was reminded with the... I was reminded of the love we once had. I had to take matters into my own goddamn hands. He also does have a Nissan. Nissan is kind of a lib car. You know? New Laura Loomer selfie! Stop! That's one sexy woman. Name dropped. Oh, shit. Get to working. Get to working, chatters! Shooter name dropped. He's kind of thinspo. That's crazy. He started dating her when he was in high school. Wait, what the fuck? Is this actually his account? This guy is insane. What the fuck? Nah, this is... Okay, this might be a federal agent, dog. I don't know what... I don't want to show you. Oh, my Lord. I'm looking at his shit right now, dude. His shit is... Well, okay. First and foremost, we can rule out Hasanabi head because age demographic wise, this is an old ass community nowadays. And that's always a fear that I have in my heart. But judging by his post, we know this motherfucker could have shot me, as a matter of fact, instead of Trump if push came to shove. I don't know what's going on with this guy, but he really loves. Dude, this looks like a federal account. That's all I'm going to say. Dude, no one writes this much about Ukraine. He only posts if this is the actual fucking account and it's not like a last second switch up, he's gaining followers by the second no, I don't believe it. This is unsubstantiated. I'm not going to fucking show any of this shit. Okay?
President.
But the name has been revealed. Suspect's name is Ryan Wesley Routh. Okay. Is it anti-Israel NATO Andy? I don't know if he's anti-Israel, but he is a NATO fucking Andy dog. Okay. I don't know if he's anti-Israel. I don't see that at all. But he loves, if this is his actual account, because here's what could have happened. Okay. Here's what could have happened. As soon as the name got leaked, somebody immediately fucking went back on an account that has been around since January 2020 and changed the name to Ryan Routh and changed the fucking, the photo or whatever. But I'm not going to lie. The tweets are insane. Okay. The tweets are insane as fuck. He likes Tulsi Gabbard. He has added Tulsi Gabbard. Okay. We need some help out here in Kawa. I think he might have been like a Hawaiian pro-NATO Tulsi Gabbard fan. He loves, oh my God, he fucking loves NATO and loves Ukraine. Like this man has only posted about Ukraine. Is crazy. I think this dude lost his dang mind on the Ukraine shit. What the fuck is this number? He's got a phone number on here. Joe Biden, you should visit the victims in the hospital, the Trump rally victims, and attend the funeral of the firemen that died. Trump certainly never would. Show the world what real leaders would do. And you said Biden was dumb for talking about NATO? Okay, guys, I have an apology. I have an apology to make. Okay? I'm sorry. There is a NATO voter. It's this guy. It turns out I was wrong when I said, who the fuck is a NATO voter? It's this guy. Bro, he follows. Who the fuck follows Secretary of Defense Lloyd J. Austin III on Twitter? He follows Vivek Ramaswamy. He follows Radio Taiwan International. He follows a bunch of NAFO Andes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Bro got brainwashed by the feds. I think this is like, we found it. We found the Blue Anon guy, I think. He had some of the most unhinged takes about like getting Afghan fighters to go fight in Ukraine. He kept tweeting at Vivek and Nikki to not drop out. He follows Blinken. If this guy's real, his motive is that he believes Trump is anti-NATO and pro-Russia. Yeah. Bro, he was also like a Taiwan guy. He was so invested in the NATO shit. He was like, Bruno Mars Access, we're trying to serve the haiku stairs. Bruno helped with the nanatorium, and we need his help now to save this World War II landmark for our kids. Aid in Ukraine at gmail.com. Keith Amamiya, we must remove Rick from office. I'm thinking we could get Kirk Caldwell to join. Hunter Biden's son, they cannot convict Hunter Biden as the question on the application with no time frame. User or addict in the last 10 minutes, decade life, when? So any pot user at any moment cannot buy a gun. Oh my God. Bro, this bro is like invested in the State Department. He is so insanely pro American State Department that like that's the reason why when I saw this shit, I was like, is this a federal agent? Like, what the fuck is going on? Elon Musk, I would like to buy a rocket from you. I wish to load it with a warhead for Putin's Black Sea Mansion bunker to end him. Can you give me a price, please? It can be old and used as not returning. Okay, he's schizo. Okay, a couple things that I've seen here. Okay, first of all, okay, this man is schizophrenic, okay? Because ain't nobody is fucking putting their phone number. Ain't nobody's putting their fucking phone number. Okay, wow, the same speech a week is best. I want a serious State of the Union type speech every time. I do not want trivial bullshit. I want a heartfelt on students killed, Gaza murders, Ukraine horrors, Taiwan, China murders, freedom, democracy. Oh my God, he is. He is the guy. He's the pro-Palestinian, pro-Ukrainian guy who is just like locked in, dude. What did he say to Seth Rogen? You and James Franco must use their status to meet with Kim Jong-un and show him we are friends and we want the best for him and his people. Dennis Rodman did it. James Franco, we cannot let North Korea spiral towards war. As civilians, we should go there and make friends with Kim Jong-un and show him we are normal humans. Oh my God, this guy's amazing. This guy's amazing. He's both a fucking NATO fan and also simultaneously like wants to open up the DPRK to the world. Wow. God, I love American politics. I love people that have just like these insane opinions, dude. How can all of these opinions be trapped in the same mind? How? How can these opinions all be in the same fucking mind? Literally a Hasanabi head. You are insane if you think this is Hasanabi head shit. Ain't no fucking Hasanabi head is being like, Elon Musk, please give me a rocket so I can nuke Vladimir Putin. This is obviously a Russian PSYOP agent to make the pro-Ukraine NATO guy look insane. How could this be a fucking Russian PSYOP? Like, I was thinking about that for sure. Because like he has posted the most insane shit, right? Look. France Elba, I wish someone in Haiti would reach out to me so I can supply thousands of NATO-trained Afghan soldiers very cheaply. I can send 1,000 soldiers today to defend. There are 1,000 NATO-trained Afghan soldiers that are begging to join your police force for very cheap wages, $200 US a month. There are 1,000 with passports ready to fly. R.C. Wu from the Institute for National Policy told me to work with you to defend Taiwan. I have thousands of Afghan soldiers. This is crazy. Tweets are being deleted. Oh, Elon is probably going after the account already. Oh my God. His last post was about the previous shooting, copycat. Yeah, I saw that. If this is the Ryan Routh in the news today, he seems like he's trying to arrange mercenaries for Ukraine. His posts are bizarre. I don't have LinkedIn. I can't go on his LinkedIn. If you want to fucking scour his LinkedIn and screenshot it, then that's fine. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Oh, holy moly. This guy is fucking insane, dude. Woo! This is the guy. I was wrong. This is the guy. This is the guy. If there are no more NATO voters, Ryan Wesley Routh is dead or in jail for trying to kill the president. He is the NATO voter. He is the AUKUS Andy. He is the AUKUS Andy. Real Donald Trump. While you were my choice in 2016, I and the world hope that President Trump will be different and better than the candidate, but we all greatly were disappointed, and it seems you are getting worse and devolving. Are you R-worded? I will be glad when you are gone. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is he a Bernard brother? Man with gun barricades himself inside business in 2002. Ryan Routh, 36, in 2002, was arrested without incident at United Roofing, Greensboro police said. Routh was Wait, is this him? Routh was charged with carrying a concealed weapon in possession of a weapon of mass destruction, referring to a fully automatic machine gun. I was not supporting Bernie, but now I am. As Sleepy Joe stands for nothing, no plans, no ideas, just as limp as Hillary. Bernie, give them hell, fight to the death. No, the age checks out, dude. Age checks out. Ryan Routh, 36 in 2002. Now he's like 50. What? Yeah, that's 58. Isn't that the same age? The picture says roofing in the back of the truck. He's a roofer. His FB is down, but it said he was from North Carolina originally. Okay, I don't want to toot my own horn. It took one photo and 3 seconds for me to say this guy's a libtard, okay? I'm just saying, I know my fucking hogs, okay? I saw this motherfucker, I was like, that's a libtard, bro. He's got libtard-ass vibes. I fucking clocked it! I clocked it! No! Ain't no fucking Republican has that body fat percentage at the age of 58. Okay? I got the instincts. I do. Okay? Holy moly. You know he's a libtard because he surrendered to the police? No, I mean, that's like, you could respect the police. Wait, what? He has a sock account on deck? No, someone could have changed the name on this. You're wrong. No, someone could have changed no. This could have been a name change. Don't know if this is like actually his sock account. But a guy that posts like that would probably have a sock account because he's definitely insane. 0% chance, you are correct. He invited Kim Jong-un to his house in Hawaii. Kim Jong-un, I would like to invite you to Hawaii for vacation. We would love to have you here and entertain you. With the current virus, it is vacant and private. It would be an honor to have you at our beaches. I am a leader here and can arrange the whole trip. Please come. At POTUS, your campaign should be called something like Kadaf. Keep America democratic and free. Trump's should be Massa. Make Americans slaves again. Master. Democracy is on the ballot and we cannot lose. We cannot afford to fail. The world is counting on us to show the way. Bro, he's so insane. Suspect in the Trump assassination was interviewed by Newsweek in Romania in 2022. According to the report, he helped recruit foreign fighters to volunteer for Ukraine.
Please tell me who you are and why are you here?
I'm 56 from the U.S. From North Carolina originally, so live in Hawaii now. So flew all the way from Hawaii.
Wait, it actually is Defend Taiwan? Like that's his actual sock account? He had a sock ready to go? Yeah, tell Putin to attack, draw him in so we can flatten Moscow. Putin must be killed and Moscow must be burned to the ground. Evil must be eliminated totally forever. One thing that we do know is that he is completely fucking insane. No, I know he went to Ukraine. He did. He was a Vivek head. Vivek Ramaswamy, you cannot quit. Why? You must stay on the ballot to end. You must fight. You must continue giving speeches and push all the way to the election day no matter. He was a fucking... No, he's not a Vivek stan. You guys are so dumb. He is hyper-libbed up, dude. He is hyper-libbed up. He's hyper-libbed up. He 100% is like... He was saying that because he thought like he could eat away at like Trump's base of support or something. He's not mentally well. Oh, his website is down. He's not mentally well. You can see his business website. He just starts rambling. Yeah, I could tell he's not mentally well from the fact that he fucking sent messages, or not messages. He tweeted at like Zelensky directly to be like, give me a call. Of course he's bananas, dude. What are you talking about? Brian Schatz, I need your help. I am flying to Ukraine on Sunday to fight, but it is obvious they need our Patriot missile defense systems. Certainly we have some of those here that we can loan to Ukraine, and I can learn as a civilian how to operate. Help me change this war. Okay, I was wrong when I said it's funny. It would be really funny if it was like a random gun tube guy who was just in the vicinity. Objectively, this is funnier. And this is such an insane person, like an insane person, both in like the way he's like obviously not mentally well, but insane in terms of like how invested he is in like NATO, defending Taiwan, defending Ukraine, that like I was wrong. This is objectively funnier than like another fucking Trump. Well, I mean, technically he did vote for Trump in 2016, but another, former Trump supporter. I think he's genuinely just a single issue NATO voter, not even full lib, just NATO. Vivek is not pro NATO, was he? You must expand your message with hundreds of bullet points. I've heard TJ swivel twice. Join forces with Nikki Haley now as VP to make a winning team, please. Need two-parter to win this. How to fix Ukraine, China, North Korea, and Iran. Can you make friends? International Women's Day. We all need to join together to support Tulsi for president. Oh my God, he's a Tulsi crank. He's a Tulsi crank. No. This, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are wondering, like, remember when I told you that like the American median voter is oftentimes a person who has opinions that are inherently contradictory, and it's very difficult to comprehend exactly what their worldview is. This is a person that goes above and beyond liberalism. Like, I think he was very libbed up. He was a Trump. So as far as we understand, he was a Trump voter in 2016, probably because Donald Trump ran against Hillary Clinton as an anti-war candidate. Remember that. He ran as an anti-war candidate, as a peaceful dove. So this guy probably voted for him for that reason. Okay. Why are you so pro-Putin and isolationist? Are you saying it's insane to not be these things? You cannot look at a guy who is adding Zelensky and being like, give me a fucking call. I have 1,000 Taliban or Afghanistan NATO fighters ready to go, and be like, that's a normal position to have. You, my friend, have to go get mentally checked by a doctor. If you look at a guy who was just recently apprehended by the FBI, and you look at his fucking background, okay? If you look at his background and you're like, well, he's saying a lot of things that I agree with, you probably immediately need to talk to a doctor. Like immediately, okay? Do not wait. He was a fan of Tulsi, and then he was no longer a fan of Tulsi. Okay, so in 2020, he was a fan of Tulsi, and then he stopped being a fan of Tulsi because he's libbed up. He was a fan of Donald Trump, and then he became no longer a fan of Donald Trump. I think this guy is insanely fucking libbed up. Okay? I think that this guy is insanely libbed up and very, very unhealthily obsessed with NATO and like helping NATO, beefing up NATO. And he's the guy who is like mentally ill that literally just listens to whatever fucking the news is telling them about like the big bad, the big evil. And he just hyper focuses on that. It makes it his hyper fixation, and he loses his dang mind. He dislikes Joe Biden, likes Bernie, likes Tulsi Gabbard, likes Taiwan and Ukraine, wants normalized relations with Iran and North Korea, wants to bomb Putin directly. This guy's fucking awesome. Yeah, he is like oddly very pro-Palestine. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. I'm telling you, it makes sense. Because like, what does television tell you? Television tells you this is objectively a good war. It's moral to continue prosecuting this war. It's moral to, like, television man can't tell you that, like, the fucking death and destruction in Gaza is like, even if the television man tells you death and destruction in Gaza is like actually totally valid, he very clearly does have in his mind like an anti-war principle. And I think that a lot of anti-war liberals went nutty mode with Ukraine because it was one of the first times that America was on the right side of history, even if their reasons for being on the right side of history were wrong. It was like, that is the reason why he became like insanely militant. Why was he pro North Korea then? He's not pro North Korea. I think he's just like, he's like an actual anti-war guy who is like also insane and thinks more war for Ukraine, but anti-war everywhere else. More war in Ukraine to defend Ukraine, which is an understandable position to have if you're like anti-war, but you're simultaneously looking at what's going on in Ukraine and you're like losing your mind over all these people dying for no reason. Why did he vote for Trump in 2016 and didn't get fooled by Russiagate? I think his perspective on Ukraine probably started after the invasion. I am beginning to think you are just crazy. Stop talking about shit about everyone else and get to work. Nobody wants a bunch of bullshit. I think you're a Republican and a Trump nut at this point. That gray streak in your hair is so stupid. Grow up or go away. Ryan in Hawaii. Why do you keep saying he's pro-Palestine? He has mentioned that he wants the murders in Gaza to stop. That's the only thing that that's the only reason why I thought he's like kind of pro-Palestine. He's not like, he's obviously nowhere near as invested in Palestine as he is in like the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, surprisingly enough. He mentions Gaza murders once, that's it. Some reporters are quoting his tweets, websites, interviews as to such as he's a partisan. As he voted in 2016 for Trump, it was heavily, no, he's super anti-Trump. I disagree. He's libbed up. He's being treated as a Bush Republican, never Trump Republican. Maybe they are libbed up now. Considering that the Democratic Party actively courts these voters, I would say that he is fucking libbed up. From his site, Israel must be divided equally between the Jews and the Palestinians, as no one should steal another's land and democracy must be put in place and nurtured for long-term stability. No, I don't think he's pro-Israel, chat. I think he's like a two-stater. This is the State Department guy, okay? -1 Kamala voter. Yeah. Trump stan, probably because Donald Trump positioned himself as like anti-war and stuff, anti-establishment. He probably fucking hated Hillary Clinton because Hillary Clinton was like an establishment warmonger. Okay. This is a guy who was like trying to build housing for homeless people and shit. Doesn't this account kind of read like a Republican's caricature of a radical liberal? It does, which is why I think like this is the one guy. They found it. They found the one guy. Yeah, in 2020, he was pro-Tulsi. he is the reason why I said like there's no way this man is a fucking Hasanabi head is because he is vehemently anti-China. Like that is like if there were like remember what I told you about the median voter? There's like 5 priorities that you have to assign in order of like hierarchy. His number one hierarchical like number one priority is fuck Putin and free Ukraine. Through whatever means necessary. His number 2 priority is Donald Trump is an asshole and he fucking sucks. And I would say number 3 is I mean, he's such a crank. It's awesome. Number 3 is no. NATO is like number 1. I already said it. Number 3 would probably be, what is this? Communist 2, I think splitting all the rail project into many small parts and hiring all local groups to control individual columns and small parts of the project as we go. Let's use this project to help our struggling workers in the economy. No, he's not a fucking communist. You're so stupid. This is just like that fucking Trump supporter girl that I was talking to that doesn't believe that like dinosaurs existed, but also is like pro Medicare for all. Okay. You will be led astray. You have to look at like what their top priorities are. Okay. He donated to Warren and Yang in 2020. And I think, no, Tulsi Gabbard as well. Like in terms of his like political opinions, not employed. Act blue, act blue, act blue. Kasich for America. John McCain. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. He is a never Trump Republican. Oh my God. Oh my God. He was a John Kasich head. What the fuck? He was also a registered independent, I believe. His bio is literally about taking less and giving more back to America. He's not a communist. Oh, this is his website on his opinions. Oh my God. He ran for Honolulu mayor to save the Haiku Stairs. The USA is the world leader and we must behave as the world leader. We are obligated to foster human rights and democracy around the world. Okay, dude. Yo, this is the AUKUS voter. This is the AUKUS voter. I was so wrong. This is the NATO voter. Oh my God. We found him. We found him. We found the AUKUS voter. The Five Eyes voter. Oh, when Brandon kept saying, dude, when Brandon kept saying, why did NATO? He was literally activated like a fucking Manchurian candidate. Okay.
Good morning. Most wonder what I'm doing in Ukraine. This is about a center to help people when they come from other countries around the world have a location, someone to talk to as a greeting committee to get them in the location that they need to be. So that's the whole focus of this project, is to help foreigners be as useful as possible. So that's our mission and job here, to get everybody where they need to be to maximize their potential. And everyone here is self-funded, so everyone's out of money and struggling to buy fuel and get everything they need just to survive. So any support would be tremendously appreciated.
Yeah, I'm actually, for the record, yeah, this is what's funny. What's funny is that like someone just said someone just said that based on this guy's like political framework, donations, and overall output, okay, he is the guy that is supposed to be on the CNN panel of undecided voters. Seems like the crank final boss. Yes. At Dave Matthews Band, we need an emotional tribute song for Ukraine as support stalls. I have lyrics and music to We Are One to rally global support. Please help me. I live near Jack Johnson and I'm sure he will help. Please. Adding Bruno Mars to make help. Yeah, Bruno Mars. I live in Hawaii and was in Ukraine for 8 months, and I need help producing a tribute song for Ukraine. I have all lyrics and some music. Ukraine needs your support. This is literally, bro, this is kind of who Kamala was targeting to like vote for her. Dave Matthews, you have blood on your hands. He donated to Yang, Warren, Tulsi, Steyer, and Beto in 2020. I feel like you manifested this man by saying there are no people like this. Okay. Sometimes I'm wrong. Okay. Most times I'm right. I did not realize that there was a guy like this. Okay. I am going to now change my position from there is not a single voter like this to there actually is a single voter. His name is Ryan Routh, and he tried to assassinate the former president. Okay? I'm going from there is not one guy like this to there is at least one guy like this. Okay? This is a man that I have manifested in my this is a man that I manifested in my feverish imagination, where I kept saying, there's no fucking NATO AUKUS voter, you dumbasses. There is no NATO AUKUS voter that was like formerly a Tulsi Gabbard fan. Now he won't be able to vote. I would have helped him produce that song, though. I mean, he's not dead. Republicans are going to spin this so well against the Dems. Oh, yeah. I have been to Ukraine twice for 8 months total, and communist Russia and Putin must be eliminated and dissolved at all costs, including boots on the ground. Taiwan should already have countless U.S. bases and must be defended. And Chinese communism and Xi Jinping eliminated for slavery and the murder of youth to use daily to harvest organs is a gross human rights violation, as well as global viruses and combative behavior. Oh, he's like China did COVID. Bro saw Team America and thought, damn, Kim Jong-un must be so lonely. Yeah, that's the... Did you see his tweet about how he hates Viktor Orban? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. He tweeted about Viktor Orban? No. Oh my God. He did not tweet about Viktor Orban. Oh my God. Did he tweet about Viktor Orban? I was moved by Lester Holt being emotionally shaken on last night's newscast. He is the first real human to show the gravity of this war, and he's the best man in the world in my book. I'll stand by his side with Lester to fight a war and have his back any day. I mean, he would be the guy who knows who Viktor Orban is. He was recruiting for Ukraine in a GM
I'm in the zoo with the lions and apes and bears. You probably won't make it.
Shut the fuck up.
Good luck with the video, Matt.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Can I see your ID?
Yeah. Can you hold this for me?
No, thank you.
How much time do I have before 12 gets here? Okay.
You don't have an ID?
If I show you my ID, can I go back into class?
Oh, you said 4:42? I thought you said 8:42.
Hey, my name is not Marquez Brownlee no more. It's Draco Malfoy. I don't do paper. I only do airdrop.
Well, the Ukrainians have a right to fight back.
I don't do paper though.
I don't care if you do paper or not. I'm looking for revolutionaries. Whatever people want to take this whole system down.
Bro.
Revolutionaries against communism, which he thinks is Russia is communist.
I'm a veteran. Like, do you need me?
What kind of veteran are you?
Bro, I served in Nuketown.
Well, I think it's better to serve and fight in the powers, fucking over the system.
Bro, give me a Glock and a Hellcat.
Take a look at this.
Bro, but I don't do paper though. I just told you that.
Dude, then get away. We don't need people who aren't serious. If you're not serious,
I'm serious, but I don't do paper, bro.
How the fuck did y'all find this, bro? How did you find out that he was in a Gideon video randomly? How is that even fucking possible? How is that possible that this community has already figured out where this motherfucker, like Where's Waldo, has appeared over time? That is crazy. His name was revealed approximately 15 minutes ago. What the fuck is going on?
You're literally killing the environment.
we're moving on. You go ahead, have your lunch.
No, bro, I'm going to class. I'm a scholar.
Go to class.
Wow, this hoe is Hogwarts.
This is craziness, okay? This is craziness. He voted for Trump in 2016. No. I know. We know already. We covered that already. You're late. Chat, you are late. We already fucking investigated this dude's background. We know so far what we know is he voted for Trump in 2016. He hates Trump now. Okay. He actually was kind of weirdly pro Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy. And originally I thought that he was actually pro Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley because like he wanted Trump to lose. But it turns out he actually was pro Vivek and Nikki Haley because like he was a McCain voter and a John Kasich supporter as well before shifting over to Trump. He's appeared too much. This can't be a coincidence. He's a hired actor, clearly. He's been hired by Gideon Zelensky in Taiwan and now clearly Trump. What if we're all crazy and he's the sane one? Yeah. Right-wing spin machine has already begun. Man who tried to assassinate President Trump identified as Ryan Youth, an avid Biden-Harris supporter who called Donald Trump a threat to democracy. Fox News reporting that the man arrested with a GoPro, blah, blah, blah. I've been screen recording his social media. He's a Joe Biden and Kamala Harris supporter. Posted their claim that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. He also said he's been in Ukraine to fight in the war. He also posted, I have thousands of Afghan soldiers that wish to serve for the Haiti National Police at cheap wages. Why would you even bring that up? That has nothing to do. Oh, because she saw Haiti and was like, he's pro Haiti. Like, that's what it is, right? That's what she's trying to say. Dude, forget the FBI. This dude was on everyone's radar. Yeah, this dude is like, this is a different, that's a different Ryan who, the donations are not right. The FEC donations are a different guy. Is that what it is? Not FEC's right. It says location Kawa, Hawaii. Oh, okay. Breaking, the Facebook account of Ryan Wesley Routh, who tried to assassinate Trump, has been blocked. I managed to take a screenshot before. He's anti-Israel. I'm unclear what part of Israel the Jews own based on this historic map. Judea, perhaps. It seems historically to be all Palestinian. This is him. This is actually him. It's pronounced like your favorite weeb word for kawaii. Kawaii? Oh. Dude, Hasanabi, this is definitely a chatter's uncle. Get the nephew niece on stream. I mean, I would never dare to desecrate the sacred bond between nephew and uncle by having them make fun of their insane uncle on stream like this. Anyway, let's get back to his interview in Newsweek in Romania.
Here. So the question as far as why I'm here, to me, you know, a lot of the other conflicts are gray, but this conflict is definitely black and white. This is about good versus evil. This is a storybook, you know, any movie we've ever watched, this is definitely evil against good. I mean, we're battling a situation here where, you know, the Ukrainians and the rest of the world are caring and kind and generous and unselfish and take care of one another. And it's just a matter of, you know, we need to stand up for that. That is the most important thing in the world, is just to show human beings that we're kind and we're caring and that we take care of one another and that the world is united so that we feed each other and make sure that...
Yeah, his hair is blue and yellow because of the Ukrainian flag, I think.
You know, we all move forward as one collective.
So he clearly doesn't think Trump would have stopped the invasion? No. I don't think he thinks Trump would have stopped the invasion at all. It kind of feels to me like he thinks Trump is being very mean to Zelensky and is probably... I think this guy became... The funniest part of this is I think he became a Russiagator after Russiagate. Okay? I think he became a Russiagate guy like far after Russiagate was like even a thing. Like after MSNBC was like, all right, never mind. We investigated a lot of the stuff. There was a lot of like weirdly pro-Israel accounts involved in the election interference. We're just going to stop talking about this altogether. And he became a Russiagator way too late to the game because he voted for Trump in 2016, according to his own admission on his Twitter. I think that this dude might have actually been hired by Ukraine to do this. Okay, calm down, dude. No, that's not what happened. No, this is a man who was, I think, acting out on his own, okay? This is a guy who literally was insane. A real go-getter, okay? The community found his Telegram. That's crazy that y'all found his fucking Telegram. Last seen on September 13th. Won't be on there any longer, let me tell you. Yeah, I don't think Ukraine hired him. But I'm going to be honest with you, he might think Ukraine hired him. Okay? Like, and yeah, this is the, like, earliest thing that we found about him. Man with gun barricades self inside a business. He is from, I think this is literally where he's from originally. Reddit knows him. Have you contacted Ryan Routh? He had a volunteer information center and kept track of all the international volunteers with little Ukrainian flags with each other's name on the Maidan. Ryan Routh is a pest who tries to get around official Ukrainian army policy, misrepresents himself, and tried to get a number of Syrian and Afghani citizens into the Legion. Avoid him. He helped a few of my friends find units last year when the Legion had really strict requirements for a while. I do believe you about the Syrians and Afghans, though. Most of what he does is help international volunteers join a unit, so we should still be in contact with most of them. He may do good things. He also put Ukrainian recruiters' names and phone numbers on his personal blog without permission. They found out when random people began messaging them. He also got salty when there were security why the Ukrainians, the pro-Ukrainian subreddit, knowing who this guy is insane. Okay? I think this guy just has a very one, things that we know about Ryan Routh. He's a real go-getter. Okay? If he puts his mind to something, he's going to go out and do it. Okay? He's going to go out. He went to Ukraine. Okay? He literally went to Ukraine. He also personally, I think, tried to start a business in Hawaii to build houses for homeless people in Hawaii. Okay? Here it is. Kwahale homeless concept generating offers of donations. Among them was a Kailua couple that pledged $40,000 to fund the construction of more tiny homes. Ryan Routh, the owner of Camp Box Honolulu, which builds storage units and tiny houses, said his donation of a tiny house allows him to use his expertise to address a larger problem. Yeah. It seems he lived in Greensboro, North Carolina, and moved out of the state in 2020. I think he also, not only did he live in Greensboro, but he also had a house in Hawaii as well. Because he mentioned that he has an empty house in Hawaii because he wanted to bring, I can't believe I'm saying this. He wanted to bring Kim Jong-un to his house as a guest to talk to him. Dude, also, he was BLM and ALM. Hashtag George Floyd protest. Hashtag All Lives Matter. Local municipalities and states cannot continue to be allowed to provide their own oversight on law enforcement. It is a gross conflict of interest. The federal government must be compelled to always be the legal review of police action. This is incredible stuff, man. This is incredible fucking stuff. Isn't a New York Times article. We're going to talk about that in a second. I'm confused. Is this a good dude or not? In the USMC, a lot of guys don't really trust a Marine that hasn't had to stand tall before a man at least once. By this, I mean some sort of run with the UCMJ. This guy at least does sound like he gets shit done. I'm confused. He's quite eccentric, but he's also very involved in helping international volunteers in Ukraine, so he probably knows your brother, or at least knows people from his unit. This is his website. He would probably know how to get help to word out about your missing friend. I think he wanted to fuck Kim Jong-un. Anyway, this is the earliest thing that we could find about him. Ryan Routh was 36 at the time, was arrested without incident at 1 a.m. at Monday at United Roofing. Routh was pulled over about 10 p.m. Sunday during a traffic stop, but he put his hand on a firearm and drove to United Roofing, where he remained barricaded inside. Routh was charged with carrying a concealed weapon and a possession of a weapon of mass destruction, referring to a fully automatic machine gun. He was also charged with resisting, delaying, and obstructing law enforcement officer and driving while license revoked. Army subreddit post where he's mentioned for later when talking about the New York Times. I'm always skeptical of anyone posting their exploits on social media. This guy and that Nancy guy rubbed me the wrong way. Ukrainian officials initially boasted 20,000 potential Legion volunteers, but far fewer actually enlisted. Currently, there are around 1,500 members in the organization, say people with knowledge of the Legion. Some are experienced fighters working as a part of the defense intelligence of Ukraine. But there have been high-profile problems. A former Army private first class, John McIntyre, was ejected from the Legion for bad behavior. Internal documents show that the Legion is struggling. Mr. Nance, where is the other one? Malcolm Nance? Okay, where is the article about our boy? Oh. With Legion growth stalling, Ryan Routh, former construction worker from Greensboro, North Carolina, is seeking recruits from among Afghan soldiers who fled the Taliban. Mr. Routh, who has spent several months in Ukraine last year, said he planned to move them, in some cases illegally, from Pakistan and Iran to Ukraine. He said dozens had expressed interest. We can probably purchase some passports through Pakistan since it's such a corrupt country, he said in an interview from Washington. Hey, Hassan, why were you on r/Brett Are you guys fucking stupid? We literally went on r/Brett on stream. Why was I on Dr. Disrespect Live? We literally went on it on stream. Anyway, let's continue. It is not clear whether he has succeeded, but one former Afghan soldier said he had been contacted and was interested in fighting if it meant leaving Iran where he was living illegally. Okay, that's it. That's the only mention that he gets, I think. This man's politics are like the coexist bumper sticker, but the peace sign is the NATO compass. Yeah. If there's one thing that this guy was objectively in favor of, it is NATO. Objectively. And what I mean by that is American Post Taiwan flag in Kyiv to honor Taiwanese soldiers in Ukraine. Volunteer says if China protests, I can order another 1,000 flags. That's him. Ryan Routh points to Taiwan flag. He would have loved voting for Biden. I agree. But I think he also cared about Palestine, so maybe he was conflicted. Because I think he was like pro-Palestinian, like way more than the average American. But also simultaneously, he was so insanely pro-NATO and so insanely pro-Ukraine. You think this could mess up Kamala's momentum? No, I don't think so. I think they'll talk about him a lot. Like the Republicans will go crazy over it. Average D voter, D in a nutshell, fuck no. Destiny is permanent genocide in Gaza. What the fuck are you talking about? Like the Ukraine stuff, the Taiwan stuff, absolutely. Can you be pro-NATO and Palestine for real? Americans can, okay? Trump making other countries chip in the NATO funds probably made him flip. Yeah. I think I found his Reddit account. We know his Reddit account is called Taiwan Foreign Legion. He's like really, really nutty about like defending Taiwan and also defending Ukraine. He's in a semaphore video too.
Ukraine is reluctant to be cooperative.
That's Ryan Routh, a U.S. citizen who set up the International Volunteer Center in Ukraine to help connect foreigners to Ukrainian military units.
Now I'm talking to over 100 soldiers every day, and pretty much everybody, all of my contacts in Ukraine, they were adamant and pretty much yelled at me every time that I suggested that we bring in
It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. This chat is better than the CIA, dude.
The Ukrainian government didn't respond to our request for comment, but a source close to the officials in Kyiv told Semaphore that their top concern is the question of loyalty in the thick fog of war.
The biggest thing is spies. They're afraid that anybody and everybody is a Russian spy.
Those concerns aren't completely unfounded. Russia's notorious private military group, Wagner, has reportedly begun recruiting Afghan commandos. Semaphore reviewed these text messages from Afghan soldiers, which tell the same story.
What I heard was that they were offering them about $2,500 to $3,500 a month.
All right, the rest of it is not about him. He was also trying to fucking recruit Afghan soldiers, bro. This dude is crazy cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, dude. Holy moly. Incredible. God, I love the United States of America. Moments like this is my favorite shit, okay? Times like this, I'm like, God damn, I love the American political sphere and all of its bountiful content. All right, let's see what CNN is saying while I go piss.
His attitude toward the war in Ukraine, the fact that he claims he fought there and was recruiting people to go fight. Does that make it a motive? Not necessarily, but it's certainly something that's going to cause them to want to take a deeper look at that. And again, the social media aspect of this. I mean, he's 58 years old and does have a social media footprint. Not that older people don't, but it shows that he's very active on social media. He did have a GoPro, so he was planning on filming himself, and he wanted to leave that behind, in my opinion, if he had been successful. And so all these things are, I think, important clues. But the most important clues are going to come from the execution of those search warrants and the evidence they're able to gather from his home, a business, interviewing friends, family, smartphones, all those kinds of things. That's where the evidence is going to really come from. And that's what they're actively working right now. And now that his name is out there, obviously there's going to be a lot of interest in tracking down friends and relatives of this individual.
Well, and Wolf, just as we're reporting on this and we are getting new information by the moment, I also just want to report some more news that I'm hearing from sources and that our colleagues have also confirmed, which is that in recent days, the Trump campaign was briefed by U.S. intelligence officials about new indications that Iran was planning to increase its attempt to attack former President Donald Trump and those around him. We're hearing this from sources. This is something that was briefed to the Trump campaign. I should note, and I want to be very clear here, we don't know that this new intelligence and this new briefing that the Trump campaign got about this attempt by Iran to escalate its attack on Donald Trump is at all related to this second attempted assassination that happened today on his golf course. But it does speak to the threat environment.
The fuck do you mean Iran? What are these people are fucking goddamn CNN. Dude, that is crazy.
Just want to get back to you, Andrew McCabe, on this reporting. And while we don't know that it has anything to do with what happened today, what it says about overall what the Secret Service and Homeland Security and officials are taking into account.
Caitlin, what it tells us, it gives us a very small insight into a very, very troubling, complicated, diverse threats that are facing our political leadership today. And, you know, the fact that they've been briefed on these threats means that the intelligence community considers them credible and reliable and things that they feel like the Secret Service and those engaged in protecting the former president really need to take action on. And so this brings us back to the conversation we had a little while ago, where we were commenting on how is it that this could happen 2 times in just a couple of months, and that someone could get this close to the president from, you know, just kind of poking in from through the fence at the golf course. There is always a tension between protectees and the protective service, particularly when the protectee is someone who's running for office. They want to be available.
This is so fucking stupid. Iran makes the most sense, though. They must avenge Qasem. Yeah, no, Iran doesn't make sense at all in this situation. What are you talking about? This guy is so heavily fucking invested in, like, NATO. I think what's really funny about this, what's really funny about, like, Americans looking at a situation that is, like, so unique to the United States of America and being like, someone else must be responsible for this. No, dude, we're responsible for this. Only in the United States of America could you find a guy that is such a goddamn crank that he was like pro-Tulsi Gabbard, pro-Trump in 2016, vehemently anti-Trump, and like the most invested in both housing the homeless and also simultaneously fucking nuking Moscow in an effort to end the war in Ukraine. This is our people, okay? A guy who in 2002 was arrested by law enforcement for barricading himself in his fucking roofing company's roof, ironically enough, in his roofing company's office with a fucking automatic machine gun in his hand after being chased by the police. Like, this is someone who you can only find in America, okay? There is no other planet where you can, there is no other place on this planet where there is a guy who is going to have this many conflicting thoughts in his mind and a ease of access to an arsenal of weapons and a guy who's a real go-getter. Okay, this is, yes, as American as apple pie. He's so American that he's got the United States of America flag on his fucking Twitter bio.
Thank you very, very much. We, of course, are going to continue following all this major breaking news. The FBI says it is investigating.
Yeah, our community scooped the 2002 arrest before any publication. W journalism. Yeah, we got W. Yo, let's get some W's in the chat for W journalists.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for joining us as we've been following this breaking news, Wolf, for the last several hours. Wolf Blitzer in Washington. Our breaking news coverage is going to continue. Stay here.
Let Wolf drink his fucking margaritas, man. Oh, Fox is probably going crazy over this. Let's see.
If you have to cut.
God damn it. Fuck you, Fox. I just want to point out it took me 3.5 seconds of like glancing at the dude's photo to be like, that's a libtard. I'm going to go back to that once again. I'm going to toot my own horn here. Okay. And tell you once again, I saw the man, I saw his nipples and I was like, that's a libtard. Okay. I'm like fucking GeoGuessr for American politics. Okay. As soon as, yeah, he got cum gutters, that's not a conservative, okay? That's not a Republican, okay? 58-year-old man.
Unit. So, we feel the pain of one country's failure and their conflicts, and we enjoy the successes of other countries that are doing good, and we all work together. And for some reason, Russia does not grasp this concept that we're all one unit, and we have to get along and work together and be normal human beings. This is 2022. We have to work together. It seems asinine that we have a leader in a country that does not understand the concept of being unselfish and being generous and being kind and just the basic moral values that are required by human beings these days. It blows my mind.
And what are you doing here in Ukraine?
My initial goal was to come and fight. I think, everybody around the globe should be motivated.
He was not allowed to fight, by the way, I love that, like, a guy whose standards, like a military that is very desperate for foreign volunteers, still looked at this guy and was like, nah, dog, we can't give you a weapon. But in the goddamn US of A, he can have all the weapons he needs, okay? That's the beauty of this country. This motherfucker failed the Ukrainian ASVAB, okay? I don't even know how they conduct it, okay? I don't know how they conduct that shit over there, but I do know that they're desperate for people, okay? They're desperate for bodies. And he was still not allowed. He was still not allowed to serve in the fucking Foreign Legion. And yet, in the United States of America, he can have all the guns he wants, okay? God, this country, man, this fucking country, we are such fucking freaks, dude. We are the freakish country, dude. We are the most insane country. A guy who was not allowed to carry a weapon in Ukraine can just like do whatever the fuck he wants here.
To come here and support the Ukrainians and support the army, no matter what gender, age, anything. Everybody should be here supporting the army. But I'm 56, so initially they were like, well, I have no military experience, so they're like, you're not an ideal candidate.
Damn it!
So they said, not right this minute.
God damn it, dude. He served. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you, Chatter. You fucking piece of shit. God damn it, dude. Top of the hour roofing. Oh my God. At the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. If you fucking, I was cooking up a really good one too. I was cooking up a really good one. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for fucking $6, even though it's 30% off right now. Or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. You can also get gifted a sub. Why does he look like you? Because they put my face on his face, dude. Chatters. Come on. He does kind of look like you. It is my face. They Photoshop my face onto his. Oh my God. Some chatters are so stupid. Holy shit.
So plan B was to come here to Kyiv and promote getting more people here. You know, we need thousands and thousands and thousands of people here fighting with the Ukrainians. We need, you know, we've got 190 countries around the world, and we need thousands from all of them. If the governments will not send their official military, then we civilians have to pick up the torch and make this thing happen. And we've gotten some wonderful people here, but it's a small fraction of the number that should be here. If we have 5,000, you know, to 10,000 people here fighting, you know, that is just a minuscule amount of the 5 billion people on the globe. You know, we need everyone here fighting. That's why I'm in Kyiv. So every project that I promote is about getting people here to support the Ukrainians. We were at a critical juncture in this war where we are sitting on the fence as far as whether good or evil is going to win. You know, right now we're looking at a situation where the world is waning and it's thinking that this is important or not. And we're at a point where, you know, all right, are we going to stand for humanity, for human rights, for everything that is good with the world? Or are we just going to ignore it? You know, if everybody is complacent and doesn't join this fight, then guess who's going to win? It might take 10 years, but we're going to lose this battle if everyone around the globe does not stop what they're doing.
He also wrote this book called Ukraine's Unwinnable War: The Fatal Flaw of Democracy, World Abandonment, and the Global Citizen, Taiwan, Afghanistan, North Korea, and the End of Humanity. Oh my God, he wrote a separate book presenting the book on Amazon. Roosters crow here. I sit at 5 a.m. I shot a white rooster yesterday, and they normally run off screaming, but this one was paralyzed and could no longer walk. And what the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna stop reading that. He's insane.
Get off the couch and come to Ukraine and defend the human rights of everyone around the globe. This is the most important thing going on in the world today. So sitting around and letting life go on as normal.
He also stopped a rape. He fought and chased a suspected rapist and later assisted the police in an investigation. Makes him a super citizen, if not a superhero. For his efforts, Routh was awarded Law Enforcement Oscar by the Greensboro chapter of the International Union of Police Association. A statue shaped like an Academy Award rests on the mantle of his living room. Routh received the Oscar for being the Citizen of the Year. I hope that everybody else would have done the same thing in the same situation, Routh 25 said. When these types of incidents happen, most of what you do is just impulse. You're just reacting. I was happy to be at the right place at the right time. I'm so glad this guy didn't die. Yeah, I can't wait. He's going to write the most insane book. He is the main character. We're just the background. This guy's like a fucked up Forrest Gump. He's like, yeah, he's the Forrest Gump, but for NATO. He also wrote this article for that newspaper in 1995. Graffiti is giving city an ugly black eye. Prison call, interview him on the pod. I would love to do that. I am, however, afraid that if he ever gets out of prison, he would assassinate me for not being sufficiently pro-Ukraine. Like, this is the exact type of guy who would go around being like, this motherfucker is in the pocket of Vladimir Putin. I know it. He was not very good at assassinations, true, but he's definitely the type of guy who is a go-getter. He's not going to stop.
Complaining about gas prices and complaining about, you know, your luxury life in whatever country you live in is unacceptable. As human beings, we must support each other. We cannot turn our backs on anyone around the world and expect the problem to go away. So I've been dealing with Russia for my entire life. You know, we had one period where it was okay, but now we've let it slip back into terrorism. So it's just, the world needs to respond. You know, why world leaders are not sending military is beyond me. We're going to have to elect new leaders the next go around that have a backbone and that, you know, have the fortitude to say, hey, we're not going to tolerate this type of behavior. This type of behavior is unacceptable anywhere, any place, you know. So it's totally unacceptable. And why people are not responding, I do not know.
What impressed you the most since you are here?
My trip to Irpin was pretty emotional. So, going and seeing the...
All right, boring. Yapper.
Jr. happened to be superb marksman. And Eric Trump, it just so happens, was telling me earlier today with some top-notch sharpshooters, some of the best in the country, they were hitting targets from a mile away. That ought to give people a little bit of perspective in terms of what the perimeter needs to be for any top candidate or elected official. The perimeter can't be 300 to 500 yards because that's considered an easy shot by anybody that has any level of skill. Now, Eric was, to be honest, pretty emotional and said the words to me, how many more lives does my father have here? In terms of, he can only dodge so many bullets. Wow. And he rightfully is upset. And knowing firearms as well as he does, he makes a compelling case. And I'm going to put him on tomorrow night, and he's going to describe this in his own way and how he felt. The whole family has to be upset. I remember the last time when this happened in Butler, poor Barron Trump found out somebody ran over to him and said, your dad's shot, we think he's dead. For a kid that's about to go off to college, I don't think that's a great moment in his life, and probably a very traumatic one for him. And for the entire family, and I feel horrible for this family for all that they have gone through. So much of it has been unfair. But just
is he crying
on this? The president tends to shrug this off himself. The president shook the hands, according to my friend Steve Witkoff, of every single person that was out there protecting him. He thanked every one of them for protecting him. He was grateful to all of them. And that just happens to be the way it is. He happens to be. It's a side of him that I wish he would show more often to the American people. But that does not negate the question, Charlie, and I think we're tracking on this very important issue. You've got a tree line, you've got a fence, you're only 300 yards away from where the presidential candidate,
Yeah, I guess his boyfriend almost got killed again, so that's probably why he's a little emotional.
Top-notch Secret Service agent that was able to stop that threat by taking his own shot. I don't know where we would be again today. I mean, the
top-notch Secret Service agent, they missed, dog. What the fuck are you talking about? He literally escaped the woods, got in his fucking Nissan SUV and drove away.
I think there's a lot of questions that got to be answered. This interim report that'll be coming out from Congress I think is going to be very revealing.
Sean, it's Molly here. I'm having this remarkable deja vu because the last time I saw you in person, we were outside of Bedminster, outside of the golf club where he had just survived the prior assassination attempt. And now here we are in the same situation where it's remarkable that the former president is still alive. Remarkable that we're talking about security failures, the bravery, of course, of the people on the ground there, of the Secret Service agent that was one hole ahead and created where we are today. We're thankfully not holding a state funeral of types. Your thoughts on where this goes as we're still waiting for the first interim report to come out on the prior assassination attempt.
Molly, on so many levels, you're so right. And I remember the conversation we had about this very topic. But if you think of the distance of 300 to 500 yards and the idea, regardless of what the resources are, if you don't have enough resources.
Bro, nobody cares about Trump, dude. Stop crying, okay? No one. Like, you guys do, your fans do, but like, it literally, this is so stupid.
That is
He's like, why won't people care about our big, beautiful president? This is so frustrating. Why don't they care? Well, they do. It seems they do care. They just care in the opposite direction. They care enough to like try and kill him, okay? Maybe they should care less about the big, beautiful boy if you want them to not kill the president.
Threat level in this country has never been greater than it is right now, and that it is coming from everywhere. So that would tell me we need more resources, not just for President Trump, but for the vice president, for the president.
Will this have some real impact on the election? I don't think this will have like a major impact on the election. It is because this guy's too much of a fucking kook, too much of a crank. People hate Donald Trump. Like, I mean, he literally got shot, chat. He got shot in the fucking ear, and it didn't have an impact on the election. So I don't know why the rerun would have more impact. At least this time it's like actually by someone who is libbed the fuck up and not like a registered Republican who was like, I don't know, if a president comes around to my neighborhood, I might go and kill him. Like, that was the last guy. But, you know, oh, he wasn't a registered Republican? The last shooter was, this guy was okay, first of all, this guy was also a registered Republican. It's just he was a registered independent afterwards. Or at least as a registered independent, he voted for Donald Trump in 2016. But I'm pretty sure I think he voted for, he's a former Trump Republican turned never Trump Republican. Yeah, he did. In 2016, he was for Trump, at least his own admission. He also didn't have an issue with like Vivek and Haley, which I think is kind of weird, but I guess he like thought that Nikki Haley was like pro-NATO, which she is, right? And I think that was the reason why he was like saying like, Nikki Haley, like you have to stay in the race until the very end. But I don't know why he was pro Vivek, because like I thought Vivek was like super pro Russia, but like very anti China, which so was this guy. This guy was like super anti China and super anti Russia. Like those are the most like he has a litany of inherently contradictory positions, which is very understandable for the average American. Americans have like the dumbest fucking positions. But overall, I think like if there's a couple things that are the high notes, like things that he cared about the most, it's like pro-Ukraine, nuking Russia, pro-NATO, and pro-Taiwan, super anti-China, like super anti-China. And super duper anti-Russia.
Does this happen here again? Because we cannot create a new normal around a president nearly being assassinated, but yet that's what happened last time. Do you think this happens again here?
Well, Joe, you know, your media analysis is always spot on, and I think you're right about this in more ways than you may know. You're right. It kind of got pushed to the side, and we've kind of been ignoring all of that. And what really bothered me, if we have unfortunately, sadly, tragically covered too many school shootings over the course of our careers, all of us on this program tonight. And when you think about most of those school shootings, we know within hours who the person is. We've identified where they stand politically on social media. We start learning about their background. Maybe they had trouble or problems or whatever it happened to be. We know more within 5 hours than we learned in a month after Butler, PA, and that is troublesome. She thinks him. So I think that at the end of the day, that we really need more information and not less information when it comes to shootings like this, and the media needs to not ignore this. I don't want to see any elected official ever in any situation where they're threatened, and this is not political for me in any way. And I want our nation safe and secure. And that's why I don't want defund, dismantle, and no bail laws. That's why I want a border wall. That's why I want vetting for people coming into this country. I want background checks. I want health checks. I want a means test so you're not a financial burden on the American people. These are simple solutions. The American people will sort the political side of this out in 51 days, but this has got to be a top-of-mind issue. Our safety, our security in our towns and our cities at our border. And I think America.
Wait, I don't get it. The guy is like as American as you can get. He was so American. He was exercising his fucking fundamental Second Amendment right.
Like the people that have been.
Are they just assuming now? Like, did they just collectively decide, let's just lie about who the shooter is? Like, dog, he's from North Carolina. Like, it doesn't get more fucking American than that. He is a white guy. What the fuck is happening? Like, how the fuck is this the immigrants'
free
fault?
housing, healthcare, education, and free sex change surgery for illegal immigrants. And most Americans don't know this yet, and voting starts early this week in Pennsylvania. Now, that is a disservice from the media that you...
Wait, free housing, free healthcare for Americans? Like, what? I wish.
Really fair choice in November. They need to know about this. Now, I'm going to make this challenge. And for the record, when the Biden administration wouldn't give Robert F. Kennedy Jr. a Secret Service protection, even though I disagree with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., in light of his family background, his uncle was murdered, his father was murdered, they were both assassinated, they denied him Secret Service protection for the longest time until after the shooting in Butler, and I had been advocating for him to get that. The minute after he supported Donald Trump, that was it. They took his Secret Service protection away. That, to me, they need a complete reevaluation of who in the political arena needs support. And one other issue that is political that I will bring up. We need to re-examine what happened in the summer of 2020. We had 574 riots. We had dozens of dead Americans. We had thousands of cops injured with bricks, rocks, bottles, Molotov cocktails. We had billions of dollars in property damage. Vice President Walz would not call in the National Guard. Opened up the windows of his family home to smell burning rubber, the smell of freedom, or whatever he called it. And Kamala Harris, 4 days after a police precinct in Minneapolis was burned to the ground, she was out tweeting out a bail fund to let the rioters out of jail, then goes on with Colbert and says, those rioters aren't going to stop, they shouldn't stop, and we're not going to stop. Well, where's Liz Cheney when you need her? Because that kind of sounds like rioting and insurrection support. So I think these are political issues that I know you're going to be talking about the rest of the hour.
Well, we will for sure. Sean, it's Alicia again. I just have one more question. Just wondering, when there was a reporter in that news conference earlier who said that there were 25 of us, referring to the reporters, wondering how this was able to happen. And then the sheriff said, he's not the sitting president. In the room that I was sitting in, everyone gasped. Is this a moment for President Biden where he needs to, where the onus is on him to go above and beyond all protocols and make a decision? We're 51 days from the election, that Donald Trump needs the kind of protection that he deserves.
I think it's been a moment for them since Butler. I think it was a moment. I think they should have had the common sense to give Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in light of what happened to his father and his uncle being assassinated. He deserved Secret Service protection. There were a few of us that were outspoken, begging for it on his behalf, even though I don't have a political agreement with him on a lot of issues. I think that after Butler, there was some improvement. But how did somebody get within 300 yards of Donald Trump with a scoped AK-47 and have an ability come within really seconds of assassinating him again? How is that possible? That is not, for those that know.
You want to know how fucking unserious the situation is? They're basically done talking about like how devastating it is for Trump and are now advocating for more funds to be allocated to Trump's Secret Service details so he can golf. Okay? Like, my man had 2 hits, okay? One time it grazed him. The second time, the guy couldn't even fire off a shot. And like, these guys are literally like, yeah, he should be able to golf in the privacy of his own fucking private golf course. And there should be a 1 mile radius where there's no one that's ever been a registered Democrat around him. It's like, that's the main point of concern for you? Like, that's what you're actually worried about right now? Okay. You're not even taking this seriously. Why the fuck should anyone else take this seriously? And it's probably because like there's not really anything that you can say about this because again, the dude is fucking white. Okay? The dude was a white man. So their arguments kind of fall flat in this situation. Not only is the dude a white man, but he had ease of access to guns. Okay? And in that situation, you can't really fucking do anything. You can't really do anything because not only is he a cis white guy, okay, he's like, yeah, sure, he's pro-Ukraine, okay, insanely pro-NATO, very anti-China, whatever. But like it doesn't comfortably fit any narrative that they want to slot into. That's why Sean Hannity just like didn't even talk about his background and immediately starts talking about how like immigrants are doing this somehow.
Around Trump International Golf Club, where the former president was playing around today. Here's how the Palm Beach County Sheriff answered that question.
At this level that he is at right now, he's not the sitting president. If he was, we would have had this entire golf course around it. But because he's not, the security is limited to the areas that the Secret Service deems possible. So I would imagine that the next time he comes to the golf course, there'll probably be a little more people around the perimeter. But the Secret Service did exactly what they should have done.
Is there any info about the shooter? Go back and watch the VOD for the past like hour and a half. We dove into his background. He's fucking nut job, like a total fucking nutso.
Out from a chain link fence surrounding the golf club. The agent fired off 4 to 6 shots and was just one hole of
total nut job and also a major libtard, like incredibly pro-NATO, former Trump voter, turned into a never Trumper, former Republican who voted for Donald Trump in 2016, became a never Trump Republican, and was a single issue voter. He was John NATO.
2 backpacks with ceramic plates, essentially the same kind of plates you find in body armor. And a GoPro camera was also recovered. The suspect was just 300 to 500 yards away from the former president. The Palm Beach County Sheriff said it's not a long distance when a scope is involved. And we just heard Sean say the same thing. That suspect has been identified, according to Fox News, as Ryan Wesley Routh. Now, witness saw him fleeing in that Nissan SUV, took a photo, quick action, took a photo of the license plate, alerted police. The suspect, Mr. Routh, was then nabbed in nearby Martin County to the north while traveling on I-95. There are those plates I told you about from the backpacks that were recovered at the scene, and you can see the AK-47 style rifle that was recovered. Now, Trump International Golf Club is just a 12-minute drive from nearby Palm Beach and Mar-a-Lago. Of course, that's where the former president resides. Just 4.5 miles away. It's not clear how this potential assassin was tipped off. This was not on any of the former president's schedules. Nobody knew he was going to play except for his inner circle. Of course, the former president likes to play golf. There's no secret there. It's just not clear right now how this potential assassin was scoping out the former president. Did he follow the motorcade out of Mar-a-Lago and then go to the club, or was he already waiting there when the president teed off this afternoon, Molly?
All great questions. Lucas Tomlinson giving us a great breakdown of all the information that we have so far as we get ready to continue asking more questions. Lucas Tomlinson from the White House, thank you. There are questions about security for the former president, of course. Questions about how this happened. We have former FBI agent and Fox News contributor Nicole Parker joining us now. Nicole, thank you for your insights tonight. As we've watched all of this unfolding and a lot of the unanswered questions, we're looking for information more about this suspect. What are your insights? About what we know and what we can gather from the nest there on site as they continue to go through the vehicle and the house and seek more information?
Right, I have a few comments. First of all, I've been watching your programming. Sean Hannity is spot on. I don't know how many attempts against President Trump it's going to take for them to realize he deserves the full amount of security possible.
No, I don't think they should do that. Because I think it's so funny. I love that. I love that.
And I imagine his family, I mean, his loved ones, they have to go through this again. And the election, we've got some time to go. And he is very much on people's radars, and we know this. And Christopher Wray has come out and talked about all of these threats. Iran has threats against President Trump. We have local, officials saying that President Trump is a huge threat to democracy. Do you think that is going to embolden individuals to say, I've got to do whatever I have to do to get rid of him? That rhetoric has got to end, regardless of where you stand on the political spectrum. Violence is not okay. And violence against any political individual is not okay. Violence against any American is not okay. And I think we've almost become numb to it because of many points that Sean Hannity made. People pouring across the border. I mean, it is extremely dangerous. But in light of this specific incident, they mentioned, he did get more detail as a result of what happened, on July 13th. Well, where was that? I live here in South Florida. I was an FBI agent in the FBI Miami division. I've been to Palm Beach. I've been to that golf course, and that location where he was, there's a bus stop literally within a couple hundred feet from that golf course. Any individual can go up to that chain link fence or wherever it might be. Hedges are not enough. They are not enough. We must honor and respect the Secret Service agent who was able to see that muzzle sticking through the fence. I mean, that is impressive. And again, coming from law enforcement, I can speak from personal experience. They changed the deadly force policy for DOJ after the summer of 2020, and it really felt like they were giving less protection to the, and specifically for us, the FBI agents. I know that's a similar sentiment likely throughout all of law enforcement, where when you are faced with a task, a threat, you do start to double and triple guess yourself. Am I authorized to use deadly force? Because now they come after law enforcement. They'll say, you know what, you weren't authorized and now you're going to get charged. We saw that happen quite frequently.
They're having, dude, this is awesome. Everyone's got their own pet. Everyone's got their own pet project. It's like, yeah, this is because they're just not like, they're mistreating law enforcement officers. The Democrats might approve the additional. Oh, they 100% will approve the additional security. Are you kidding me? They're pussies. They shouldn't. It'd be really funny. It would be really funny if they didn't. But of course, Joe Brandon will do that. Are you kidding me? They literally immediately ran with like, "Oh, we're so sad." Whatever. All
investigating this is the FBI. Is that seems to me to be a place that you might start. To try to get to the bottom of, well, who did know he was playing today?
And that's an excellent question. And frankly, that's one of the questions I have. And listening to all of the reporting as an investigator, I'm sitting here writing my own list of questions, and that is definitely on my list. I want to know, first of all, and I'm just going to kind of run down a few of the questions I have. First of all, is the suspect talking? Is he talking? Or is he stayed quiet with law enforcement? And I want to know what he's saying. Was that GoPro active? The camera that he had, was that activated or was it not? The social media accounts, what did he last post? What is his grievance?
We already know, dumbass. You should have just looked it up. Former FBI. Is the FBI really hiring fucking dumbasses like this? God damn, no wonder they've fallen off.
Emails, the digital footprint.
They used to like infiltrate revolutionary groups and shit and like assassinate black leaders and stuff. Now they got this lady over here being like, what was his last text message? I want to know. God damn, dude.
Having worked these types of investigations, I worked the Caesar Sayoc pipe bomb case in the Miami division, and we immediately impounded the vehicle. It was taken back to the FBI field office in the Miami division, and you execute a full search warrant. There is not one aspect that goes unnoticed when you're executing those warrants. And I know some very amazing FBI agents in the Miami division. The SAC for the Miami division mentioned that all resources will be offered. The evidence response team and others, they're going to be meticulously conducting this investigation. Again,
we went through literally every single one of the suspects' tweets. They are hilarious for those of you who are wondering. Yeah, they defunded the FBI, brother. What the hell is this? I mean, it's right here. A lot of them got deleted already, I'm pretty sure. but they're just really funny overall. We need to burn the Kremlin to the ground and put an end to Putin and Russia. Let's make Ukraine the whole of Russia in the future. World War III, let's go, people. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to go to Ukraine and fight or die for the kids and families in Ukraine. We cannot sit around and do nothing. We need to flood Ukraine with citizens from around the globe for a massive civilian army. Someone respond to me and let's do this. He was a real go-getter. Hear me out. Imagine this guy just wanted to watch Trump play golf up close, and he didn't own any binoculars, so he just had to use the scope on his rifle. Maybe. I'm literally Ukrainian, and he cares more about Ukraine than me. I mean, he was there. You know what's really funny about it? Perhaps because of the fact that he didn't do anything, like he couldn't do anything, this is not as easy of a case to stick on him as well. Like how are they going to find I mean, I'm sure this guy is so insane. He probably wrote a fucking manifesto. But like, given the way that American laws work, it would be very funny if technically he didn't do anything illegal. Because like in the state of Florida, this is a defendable case. Because in the state of Florida, if he doesn't have like a fucking straight up manifesto, okay, in the state of Florida, what was his crime? He just had a fucking gun? That's not illegal. Like he had a gun on I guess like, is it public property? No, is it private property? Like, was he brandishing? Because if he wasn't fucking brandishing, like, it should be, but I don't think it's a crime to have like a registered firearm, you know. Didn't they say shots were fired? No, he didn't do anything. He didn't fire any shots. It was Secret Service that... No, it's not. This is federal, brother. Attempted assassination still counts even if he didn't fire a shot. I know. I'm just saying. I'm just thinking, like, put your defense attorney hat on for a second and think about the ways in which you can get this guy off. It's not as crazy as you think, because like they have to prove that he had like an assassination intent. Like, they have to prove that he at least like intended to assassinate the president. You know what I mean? And I feel like a really good lawyer could potentially be like, no, this guy was just, he was just hunting. Like, I'm thinking hard about the ways I can get this guy off. Ew. A good Florida defense attorney will get this guy to stay in a luxury mental hospital. Problem is, all the good Florida defense attorneys, I think, are probably pro-Trump, like super invested in Trump. Jayoma will get this guy off. Okay? Call Jayoma. This is the case of his life. Get him on this immediately. I swear to God, dude, get him to fucking pass the bar. That shit's easy for him in the state of Florida. He would do it. And then get Jayoma on the call, dude. Lolo doesn't have a job right now. Lolo, pass the bar in Florida. It's probably easier than New York. You did it in New York. You can definitely do it in Florida. They got like way less laws there, I suspect. Isn't aiming at the former president intent? Excuse me, Your Honor. Who said he was aiming? He wasn't even brandishing. Much to consider. Your Honor, my client is a misunderstood man. He simply brought ceramic targets to shoot at and thought that this would be a large enough area where he would not be disruptive. He is a big fan of nature and thought this big patch of grass would be a perfect place for him to set down his ceramic targets to shoot at. He, as a matter of fact, was really interested in learning how to become a better shot so he could go back and fight in Ukraine. The big weekend show. Uh-oh.
Was looking across the golf course at a chain link fence, and there are a couple of, like we saw with these pictures, a couple of bags, one that had a GoPro in it, and I think one had some ceramic tiles in it, and he sees a couple of inches of a short-barreled AK-47 sticking through the chain link fence, and then realizes what it is, and then does something about it. That's pretty amazing police work, and my goodness, how fortunate.
Yeah, we are lucky again. There's no denying that. And I think to sort of try to advance the story a little bit here early on as we are, this is a bureaucratic failure, but an individual success, okay? Because bureaucratically, there's no way there should have been this kind of a hole in the security around Donald Trump. And, you know, as including Nicole has made the point, and many of the other commentators, the protection that you get as a VIP from the Secret Service or from the NYPD here in New York.
Bro, they did the job. Why are they complaining? They did the job and they did it right. They fucking, well, I mean, they didn't do it super right because they didn't end up like actually shooting the guy. But like, they literally did the job. They protected him. And they're still like, they're still mad. They're like, oh, no one who doesn't love our big, beautiful boy should be allowed near him. That's the argument you're making at this point. It's like there should be a 1 mile radius around Donald Trump at all times where like people who are mean to him, who have mean thoughts about him, must immediately get arrested. Like, he ain't Bashar al-Assad, bro. This is not happening. What the fuck are you, like, what do you expect?
Beyond Mayorkas, nobody gets fired. And who has firing power? The president. Right. Where is our president?
Yeah, Joe Biden should fire the Secret Service that Trump really likes, by the way.
On the ground. This team today, where they got the picture of the vehicle, they got the vehicle rapidly. They communicated amongst themselves, and someone was taken into custody fairly swiftly.
Yeah. So the response looks to have been really, really effective. It looks like there was good coordination between West Palm and between the Secret Service. According to the story that we're getting, there was a witness there who eyeballed him, then took photos of the car, took photos of the plate. That's the key point right there. Thank God for that witness. Now, think about what that's like. You're in West Palm Beach, you're in a patrol car, it's a sleepy Sunday, you're not expecting much. All of a sudden it comes over, 4 shots fired at Donald Trump's golf course. You can imagine the adrenaline rush. Everybody goes to the scene, and the service is there. You got to protect you don't know what's going on, and yet it worked. They got the facts fast. They held on to the witness. They got the information into the the license plate reader, okay? They were immediately able to track that car. They got a hold of the conjoining sheriff's office. They immediately got on it. They did a car stop. They call it a felony stop, right? There's certain procedures to make sure there isn't a shootout. Turns out the gun was left at the scene, but they don't know that. And it looks like they got the right guy. That's pretty seamless, okay? And that happened fast. And you know what? We don't know where this guy resided. There's some indicia that he's not from the area, right? So we don't know if he was doing pre-surveillance to try to pick up where Trump is on a Sunday, et cetera. That's all going to be looked at. But, you know, at the time, they don't know what they're getting into. Is the car booby-trapped? Is there somebody else in the car? Does he have bombs? Remember the Boston bombing, okay? I had guys up there from NYPD, my guys. And, you know, those guys were throwing bombs out the back of the truck. So you have no idea what you're getting into with something at this level. So at this point, I think we can say very good response, well coordinated. Kudos to the team that responded on the ground. You got to go back to the prophylactic aspect of this. Should it have happened to begin with?
Paul, would you recommend, if you were handling Donald Trump's security, that he not do outdoor rallies, not golf? I don't agree. I say that the guy should be able to do what he wants to do. He should be able to golf and do outdoor rallies because that's where he gets the big crowds. But if you were running security, would you say at this point, given 2 assassination attempts in 9 weeks, would you say, you know what, Mr. President, let's keep it indoors, let's keep it in a secure location? What would you do?
Look, if that's the safe answer, right? I'm running the detail. I say that to him, and I would fully expect to get a no back. Right? It's safer for me to say, Donald, you know, Mr. President, do me a favor, don't leave the basement. All right, you know, much like the Biden campaign in 2020, right? Why don't we let's run a Biden campaign, okay? Can you stay inside Mar-a-Lago so I can sleep at night? But I wouldn't expect Donald Trump to adhere to that, and nor should any of us. The idea that with the resources of the American government, we can protect one human being who everybody knows There's a lot of people want to take out. They're afraid he's going to win. That's what's driving this. I mean, I know, look, it's a little bit of a leap what the motive was here, but at some point, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, they're afraid he's going to win. There's 2 assassination attempts here. That's not an accident.
I'm just curious about what happens tomorrow, because after July 13th in Butler, no one from the Secret Service came to the mics to talk to the American people to clarify anything. So in the void, what did we find? Conspiracy theories, lots of questions, all sorts of problems, a tremendous amount of reporting. But what I'm curious about is if we're going to see the acting director of the Secret Service tomorrow.
Someone in the chat. I know a guy who can get some Afghan soldiers to do security. Yeah, he's a little bit caught up with some other shit right now, but if Trump is real desperate for some extra security, we got just the guy. He's got passports. He's ready to let it rip, dude. He's a little tied up currently, but it's pretty funny that the context for this attempt is him golfing. Like, bro's running for president, but just golfs instead of giving a fuck about Americans. The optics aren't even good for him. Yeah, but his fans love that shit. Thank God thank God there is a wonderful median American voter out there who knows the solution. People having more guns will fix this. I agree. As far as cosmic tortures go, Trump repeatedly experiencing near misses from people he cannot credibly leverage politically is pretty funny. Yeah. That is a very funny monkey's paw situation for him. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I bet you that in his mind, there was like a brief moment where he was like, oh my God, I hope it's a Haitian guy or some shit. Why can he not leverage one politically as opposed to the last one? Because despite not being like a registered Republican, he's a former registered Republican, a former Trump supporter, and also seemingly was like, let's be real. It's because he's a fucking 58-year-old white man. Okay. That's the reason why. Like, that's number one. He's a 58-year-old cisgender white man. It is basically the most protected category. Okay. It's not gonna, it's gonna be really hard. If he was like even a 50-year-old black man, you could do that. You could leverage it. Okay. If he was a migrant, oh my God. Oh, that would be perfect for him. He's insane though. Isn't that leverage enough? No, that's the other part. He didn't even do this for like abortion. You know what I mean? Like, as a white guy, that makes it really fucking hard for him already to like make a tailor-made message around this. Because at most you get like, oh, your words are making this really hard for us. Like, you can't ever do that. If you're a Republican, you can never say words are violence, because words are literally violence when you're doing it, right? This guy did it for Ukraine, most likely. Like, he did it for NATO, right? And that in and of itself is not exactly like a massive issue. There is bipartisan consensus for the most part, with some Republicans saying like, we're giving Ukraine too much money, but it's ultimately still foreign policy. So that's relegated to the American bipartisanship status. So overall, it's not like one of those issues that's like inherently just for the Democratic Party. If you poll Democrats and Republicans on like Ukraine, yeah, there's probably a lot more Republicans that want to stop giving weapons to Ukraine or whatever, but like, it's not that big of a wedge issue, is what I'm trying to say. It's not that big of an issue at all. In terms of foreign policy, I think like Americans care probably more about Gaza, or not even probably, I know that for a fact. Americans care more about Gaza than they care about Ukraine, but they don't even care about Gaza that much either. So like, it still goes back to foreign policy. That's why I used to joke about how like, there's not a NATO voter. There's not an AUKUS voter. Turns out I was right on that. There is one NATO AUKUS voter, and his name is Ryan, what was it? I'm forgetting his name. Sorry. Ryan Routh. What? Did you see this horrendous tweet from Routh? Oh, that gray streak in your hair is stupid. Grow up or go away. Yeah, I disagree. That's the one thing I disagree with him on. Like, that is the only thing that is hot about Tulsi Gabbard is the white streak. Everything else sucks. Like, I hate Tulsi Gabbard, but I mean, the white streak looks fucking sexy. I mean, she's already, yeah, she's attractive, but also like on top of that, she's like the white streak makes her look like a comic book supervillain.
They're the ones that should have instituted these changes.
Jason, it's Alicia Acuna. The American people have been through so much this summer. We've already seen congressional hearings from July 13th. We got some answers, but there are still so many questions, and we're supposed to get some more answers, and they're not going to be good this coming week. You have to assume we're going to have more congressional hearings, and we are 51 days from...
You can tell they got really nothing. That's why they keep talking about, like, Biden wants him to die because he won't give him, like, more money for his Secret Service. How much you want to bet Secret Service comes out and says they've already maxed out? Like, he gets max defense from Secret Service more than, like, any other person has ever historically gotten. How much you want to bet? And on top of that, Biden will say probably that we'll give him even more additional Secret Service detail. Because, like, what are you supposed to do? Get 100% of the budget? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is the Fox News C Squad. They don't have their own version of Wolf Blitzer to break out for breaking news. Yeah. Why were the caddies not armed? Yeah, look, this is what I mean. This is not a good position, dude. This language must stop, says Richard Grinnell. Do you realize that if Donald Trump is assassinated, that our country will be ripped into two? I fear for America with these tactics. Your language is radical and contains two lies. For the sake of our country, stop. And then the person he's responding to is fucking Hakeem Jeffries. And the thing that he's responding about is extreme MAGA Republicans are the party of a national abortion ban and Trump's Project 2025. We must stop them. Like, that's not, you can't run a national campaign on being like, you are not allowed to run against my president. He was shot at twice now, even though the second time he wasn't even 1 hour after the news broke of the shooting. Absolutely despicable for posterity. Like, what? You think they're going to cancel him? Are you fucking stupid? Fox is like, words are violence. Don't do it. Now back to our next topic. How we will remove 20,000 Haitians from a town violently. Yeah, this is fun. Another Trump assassination attempt. How quickly will the media bury it? Dude, you're what? Okay, you want to know why this is hilarious of him to say? You are burying it. You stop talking about it immediately afterwards, idiot. The fuck do you mean, the media? I guess you are the media as well. How many times do you think Ben Shapiro talked about the Trump assassination attempt since it happened? Do you think that it is a larger percentage than CNN? Maybe. But what do you think the margin is? That's what's so stupid about this. It's just, it didn't work. Like, it didn't work. You can try and act like there is... You can try and act... Wait, no, he's not Russian propaganda. How dare you? Ben Shapiro never got paid by Tenet, okay? He is not Tim Pool, sir. Ben Shapiro did not get paid by Tenet, as far as we know. That would be really funny if he did. Like, I'm willing to bet that Ben Shapiro has probably talked about migrant crime significantly more times since Donald Trump got shot at than the Trump assassination. You know what I mean? Are you burying the story, Ben? No, you just understand that people don't give a fuck. They only care about what's in front of them. What is this? What did he say?
Apparent assassination.
NBC News Lester Holt suggests that Trump and JD Vance are responsible for the assassination attempt on Trump today. Oh my God, they're being libtards, dude. They are. This is awesome. Anyway, here's the 3-minute ad break now. Dude, everyone in the motherfucking... Everyone in the Republican Party has been like nonstop chirping, and they've all become like hyperventilating libs. They're all doing like words or violence. How dare you? How dare you? Let's see what Lester Holt, my goat, said, which, by the way, the shooter also loved Lester Holt. This is why the shooter, well, he's not even a fucking shooter. This is why the assailant, the suspect, said, Lester Holt, I will ride for you. Lester Holt, I will die for you. Lester Holt, you are my hero.
Today's apparent assassination attempt comes amid increasingly fierce rhetoric on the campaign trail itself. Mr. Trump, his running mate J.D. Vance continue to make baseless claims about Haitian immigrants in Ohio. This weekend, there were new bomb threats in that town. Our Maggie Vespa is in Columbus, Ohio, with more.
Wait, why are they? They're mad that they brought up Trump's like violent rhetoric after he got almost assassinated again?
Lester, simply put, Springfield, Ohio has been inundated by threats over the last several days, closing government buildings, schools, hospitals. Today, effectively closing a local university campus after administrators said someone threatened a mass shooting targeting Haitians. This in light of, officials say, a false online conspiracy theory alleging Haitian immigrants in that city are eating people's pets. Something.
What?
All right, we've lost our contact with Maggie.
MRC Newsbusters. Dun, dun, dun. They're so mad. Fucking disgusting. Real Donald Trump Jr. Yeah. I know you are, but what is Lester Holt? Fucking got him. Are you doing the CNN show? No, dog. The CNN show is not happening anymore.
Donald Trump when this gentleman was caught and stopped? I got it. Okay. Probably between 300 and 500 yards, but with a rifle and a scope like that, that's not a long distance.
Hello, everyone. I'm Molly Line, along with Alicia Acuna, Charlie Hurt, and Joe Concha, and welcome to the Big Weekend Show. The big story tonight: a second assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. The Republican presidential candidate says he is safe and well.
Is it postponed or canceled? It's postponed. It's postponed until probably tomorrow. I don't know when they're going to do it, but they're going to slot it in again. They just had to take it out of the lineup because obviously the entire lineup shifted over to this higher order of priority news story.
There were 2 bags, a GoPro, and a long gun. Over 2 months ago, the former president survived a first assassination attempt during his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. The former president has responded to the shooting, writing, "There were gunshots in my vicinity, but before rumors start spiraling out of control, I wanted you to hear this first. I am safe and well. Nothing will slow me down. I will never surrender." Joining us now is Mark Levin, host of Life, Liberty, and Levin, and former Chief of Staff to Attorney General Edwin Meese in the Reagan administration. Thank you for coming on this evening. I just want to start with getting your insights on what has been a truly remarkable day.
Well, let's start this way. Thank you. Who's in charge? Who's in charge? We don't have any idea who's in charge.
Master Shay.
Who's in charge of protecting a presidential candidate in this country? Well, we can talk about the Secret Service, the FBI, DHS. And listen to all your great hosts with their tremendous experience. And it is fascinating to me. You know, I'm a little older. I served in the Reagan administration. I was Chief of Staff to Attorney General Meese. And let me tell you what would have happened in that administration. Ronald Reagan would have picked up the phone. He would have called Attorney General Meese. He would have said, "You're in charge of getting to the bottom of this, and you got 48 hours to do it." Meese, who I worked next to, he would have called the Treasury Secretary. He would have called every department that has any role in federal law enforcement. FBI reports to him. He would have dragged Christopher Wray up there. He would have brought in the U.S. Marshals. He would have brought them all in. Secret Service, Secretary of DHS. We would have been in the Situation Room with the United States Department of Justice. And Ed Meese would have said to all those gathered, "You better GD get to the bottom of this, and you have 48 hours to report to me, and I want to know how you're going to fix this. And I want to know right away how you're going to fix this. Twice on our watch? Never." Instead, we have very wise people who worked at the FBI, who worked at Secret Service, who worked in local law enforcement. Where's the Secret Service? Where's the FBI? Nobody is in charge. because we have a president of the United States who's mentally incapacitated. We have a vice president of the United States who's an incompetent, way over her head.
The more
We have
the
an
angrier
attorney
he
general
gets,
of the
the more
United
he
States
sounds like
who
Master
just
Shake.
held a press event the other day about violence, and he's, what, in the witness protection program, the top 3 people in charge of law enforcement in the United States of America. 2 of them tweeted, 1 of them did nothing. Now, this isn't about tweeting. Oh, I'm so glad that President Trump is well. Well, isn't that nice? The executive branch is run by the President of the United States. Number 2, the Vice President of the United States. Federal law enforcement, ultimately, the Attorney General of the United States. And they're all AWOL. They're nowhere. So it's perfectly fine if we keep banging heads about the head of the Secret Service, the head of the FBI. These are bureaucrats mostly. Mayorkas, we know what he is. He's a complete incompetent buffoon. But where the hell is the president, the vice president who wants to be president, and the attorney general, who has done absolutely nothing to get his hands around this? Now, I'm telling you this as somebody who served at the highest level of the Department of Justice, that justice wouldn't sit back and wait for a local special agent in charge in Miami to take over. They'd be sending guys in there from Washington, D.C., and Meese would have wanted a report every hour on the damn hour. And he'd want to know what we're going to do to fix this. And I can also tell you that the first time around this would have happened had Ed Meese been the Attorney General, Reagan been the President of the United States. So this is all evidence to me when I listen to everybody, and they're all fantastic. But it's all evidence to me of Keystone Cops. Who's in charge of what? Well, it depends. This one should have done that. This should have done... No. We need a general who's in charge and says, I want to know who the hell screwed up. I want to know what the hell we're going to do to fix this next time, what resources we need. And I don't want to hear again that the Secret Service doesn't have resources. We're $5 trillion in debt with this administration. Maybe a little bit of climate change money or money going to illegal aliens. Maybe that money could have been moved into the Secret Service. I have no idea. But we have no time to figure all that out. We have 50 days until a presidential election. Let me ask you a question. Does Joe Biden seem that concerned tonight? Where is he? Does Kamala Harris seem that concerned tonight? Well, she tweeted. Isn't that nice? I tweeted too. So what? The Attorney General of the United States, does he seem that concerned
What
tonight?
is she supposed to do?
They just don't.
What is she supposed to do? Fucking take up arms against like whoever might assassinate Trump next? Like
that is what's happening. Every part of it, including the best parts of it, the federal law enforcement parts of it, they're now running adrift. I speak as a former person who served at the highest level of the Department of Justice.
So, Mark, Charlie Hurt here. Obviously, you're exactly right about President Biden being completely MIA and has been for a long time in the presidency. But we're sort of back at this. After the Butler, Pennsylvania shooting, there was all of this professed unity where President Biden and others talked about how they were going to lower the rhetoric. But now we're back to where you have Democrats issuing tweets saying that they're glad that the guy they called last week Hitler survived another assassination attempt.
Mm-hmm.
It strikes me that maybe they didn't really mean it when they said it 6 weeks ago.
Of course they don't mean it. If you watch MSNBC for about 15 minutes, the hate and the drivel and the contempt that pours out of their pores from Joy Reid and, don't get me started with the long list. CNN, so contemptible. Every time they mention Trump's name, they have this constipated look on their face, like it's unbearable. The way that you have prosecutors talk about Donald Trump, elected prosecutors, and a Garland-appointed prosecutor, the things that they say in their briefs are so horrendous. What some of these judges have to say, the Democrat Party controls the culture, they control the media, they control the propaganda, they now control many of the court systems, and that's exactly what you're seeing. You're seeing a one-party monopolistic system. And people have written about this long before me who've gone through these various regimes, totalitarian regimes, their use of words, creating devil terms and angel terms. Trump always the devil, Kamala Harris is the angel. And you can see this endless propaganda and contempt. And by the way, They hate you and me, too. They've made it abundantly clear they hate at least half the country. So, of course, this contributes to the nut jobs out there and so forth. But still, I don't know how much we can do to fix that. I do know we can do something to fix the executive branch. And we got to boot these people out as fast as possible, take these agencies back. We need to fumigate them. We need to get people in there who are serious public servants and civil servants. We need to put competent people in senior positions. We need to take the FBI back. We need to take all the federal agencies, and particularly the police agencies, back. We need to take the Department of Justice back. And we can do that in the next election, because right now they're completely and utterly either out of control or rudderless.
Mark, it's Joe Concha. I'm going to read a quote from Lester Holt, who was reporting on this assassination attempt, again, the second in 64 days. Here's what he said tonight on the NBC Nightly News, and you're going to get a real kick out of this. Quote, today's apparent assassination attempt comes amid increasingly fierce rhetoric on the campaign trail. Mr. Trump, his running mate J.D. Vance, continue to make baseless claims about Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, resulting in bomb threats. So in other words, it's Trump's fault that somebody tried to shoot him today because of something that was said about Springfield, Ohio, which has had an influx of thousands upon thousands of Haitian immigrants to their town. And because Trump brings that up and because J.D. Vance brings that up, therefore, that's what's leading this. I'll let you go from here because I can't believe what I just saw right now on the NBC Nightly News.
Sickening. Absolutely sickening. No, actually, I thought it was all the Democrats and their anti-Semitism. I thought it was all the Democrats and their anti-Israel. I thought it was all the Democrats hunting down Jews on the universities and college campuses. I thought they were the problem. I thought it was all the illegal immigrants raping, murdering, selling into slavery, women and children. Maybe Lester Holt has a difficulty digesting facts around him. This guy is not a Haitian. In fact, the more I'm reading is I'm getting information he may have been an anti-Semite. I don't know what he is. We'll get the facts. But Lester Holt doesn't have any facts.
Bro said one time the murders in Gaza has to stop, and they're immediately like, he's an anti-Semite.
The computer would melt down.
Everyone knows.
In order to try and turn, look, let's be honest. They've been trying to turn Trump into a non-human. And that's what they've been trying to do from the beginning. They're dehumanizing him. And they've been doing this. I've written about this in 2 books.
Dude, what are you saying, dude? What are you saying? The Democrats are pussies. But, like, of course, despite being pussies, they're still running a fucking campaign against Donald Trump. Okay? Every now and then, they will actively be like, Trump is bad for America, as you're supposed to. These guys are so used to bullying the fucking liberals that they straight up are like, if you're running against the Republican after he got shot at, you're a bad person. You should just let him win. It's like, are you insane? Like, what is this argument? What are you saying? Oh, where's the humanity? Yeah, dude, they're running a fucking campaign. It's insane, dude.
Cops who's in charge of what?
Mark, it's Alicia Acuna, and thank you so much for being here. You know, as you know, the acting U.S. Secret Service Director Ronald Routh gave an update to senators on Thursday on the internal investigation from the July 13th assassination attempt. And
yeah, Republicans be like, these pedophile demons who have actually brought in every black and brown person from the third world to come and rape our beautiful white daughters, okay, who stole the election, are dehumanizing our president. Instead of just saying, sorry, you win this round, sir. Go ahead. It's like, yeah, I don't care, man. I don't care. Like, I don't personally care. And thank God, even the fucking most annoying baby shit, mealy-mouthed, feckless, cowardly liberals don't give a shit either. Because, like, at this point, that's the last thing that they could do. You know what I mean? That's like the last thing that they could still pull on, to be like, you know what? In the interest of fairness, to preserve American democracy, we're just going to let Donald Trump have this election because he got shot at. I wouldn't put it past them. Okay? I wouldn't put it past them. But thank God that they're not. Okay? You should do a stream with big boob and breast. Facts.
But I want people to remember about Thomas Paine. I want them to remember about Paul Revere. People say, well, what can I do? You know, I'm a janitor, I'm an electrician. You can do a hell of a lot. You are the Paul Reveres and you are the Thomas Paines. You need to talk to 10 people. You need to talk to 15 people. You need to make sure you not only vote early, you get people vote early. We can't rely on political parties to get out the vote. We have to get out the vote. It's now. We have 50 days to try and fix this. Right now.
Well, Mark, for all of us, thank you so much for being here tonight and sharing your perspective. We appreciate it. Mark Levin.
God bless. Thank you.
And right now, the FBI is collecting evidence outside of Trump National Golf Club, and that's where Dana Marie McNichol is live tonight. Dana Marie.
I don't.
Okay, so we're still waiting for Dana Marie McNichol to get up and her information. But Paul, I want to go to you actually, if we can, just to continue this conversation. Some of the points that Mark Levin was making, he just really hammered on this idea of leadership, because Americans want leadership right now, and they're not seeing it.
It beggars belief that we still have not gotten a press conference from Alejandro Mayorkas relative to the failures of the Secret Service. What we should have gotten is, first of all, Mayorkas very early in the game after Butler, but then subsequent to that, there should have been a press conference about how the service under him is being rebuilt and the measures that were taken to fix what was clearly a flaw. It seems that only in our current regime do these sort of flaws seem to fall by the wayside. They're on the cutting room floor. Nobody seems to care. And think about the signal it sends to our adversaries. If we could get two apparent clowns who are low level to manage to almost do what they almost did here, not only in Butler, but down in Florida, what does it say to the IRGC in Iran? What does it say to some of our more radicalized enemies around the world? What it says is America's not what they used to be. We don't have to worry about these guys. They don't even seem to be able to protect one of their main VIPs, who may very well be the next president. It is a diminution of American stature, American status, and the fact that we can't do this. If you're sitting where, let's say, the Chinese or the Russians are, you got to say, we don't have to worry about these guys.
Would you be worried, Paul, to my point earlier, and I asked Mark this, I asked Jason this as well, that a 20-year-old outflanked the entire Secret Service?
Bro had to weave in, and IRGC mentioned, yeah, they love Iran. So did he take the shot or not? Because they're acting like the crank emptied the clip. No, dude, they did not. They are trying to massage the fucking narrative to a way into a situation where it kind of feels like there was a real threat against Donald Trump. And this time there obviously wasn't, unlike the last time. He didn't even get a shot off. He didn't even get a fucking shot off, dude. Yeah, he got shot at by Secret Service. He ran away. Would-be shooter arrested. Yeah, I mean, even in the Chiron, it fucking says would-be shooter arrested. GoPro and gun found outside of Trump International Golf Club. To be fair, it's still an assassination attempt. I know, but they're lying about the events that took place because no shot was fired in his vicinity. They're making it seem like this guy literally grazed Trump again when obviously he didn't. And that's the funny part about this, because they also then have to complain about something. And they're basically like, oh, well, what about the Secret Service? Like, they didn't do a good job. It's like, what do you mean? They fucking literally foiled an assassination attempt. What the fuck do you want them to do? And therein lies the problem. You can't cut a narrative off of this when the actual the actual things that happened are not even as like eye-catching as the last time this occurred. And the last time this occurred, nobody gave a shit. Okay? So, like, it's funny to me that they are doing it's funny to me that they're doing the exact same thing again. I tweeted, loved it the last time Trump almost got domed. The GOP message was these monstrous Dems who export illegals from the third world to rape your kids still are campaigning against our president with mean words. And it didn't move the needle even a little bit. And they're doing it again. It's not going to fucking work. It didn't work the last time and Trump almost got killed, man. They hate him. We hate him. I hate him. I'm a Joe Brandon voter. I'm writing in for Biden. I'm writing in Biden, okay? And I still hate Donald Trump, okay? I hate the motherfucker. Of course I hate the motherfucker. Look at him, dude. Look at the past fucking week of stories. Damn, look at this guy. Warning about Ryan Routh. He is not and never has been associated with the International Legion or the Ukrainian Armed Forces at all. He is not and never has been a Legion recruiter. He is misrepresenting himself and lying to many people. Routh is currently posting on Facebook about getting Afghanistan citizens into the International Legion. He told the New York Times in 2023 that he wanted to get soldiers in the Ukraine illegally. Ryan Routh has many public Facebook posts about getting soldiers in the Ukraine in 2023 and 2024. He has no authority to act on behalf of Ukraine and ignores laws about visas. Routh is either human trafficking, scamming people, or attempting to break as many countries' laws as he can to try to smuggle people into Ukraine to fight. This is unethical, unprofessional, and unacceptable. This was back in 2024 in June, I think. Okay. Other issues. Routh has posted soldiers' phone numbers on websites without permission, giving out recruiters' phone numbers to people without permission, manipulates people into breaking laws. Avoid any contact with Routh as he misrepresents what he can legally do. I served in the International Legion for 2 years, and I've told Routh many times since 2022 that he's not helping, and what he's doing is illegally. He doesn't listen. To add to this, he was previously attempted to recruit from Syria and Iraq. When he was asked to stop, he wouldn't. He was trying to come up with entry routes and was trying to organize visas for people categorically said won't be allowed into the army. It's remarkable how disparate the media footprints of the Butler shooter versus Routh were. Yeah. Oh, we were watching Ben Shapiro cry about this fucking shooting, and I really want to hear his reaction actually, but I got so invested in some other shit. Does Brace know this man? This man is like Bizarro Brace, dude. He's like reverse Brace. He's if Brace was just bad and insane. Okay.
Assassination attempt again this afternoon. This happened apparently over at his Florida.
Is Ryan Routh trans? No, dumbass. What the fuck? Are conservatives saying he's trans now? Is that what they're doing? I mean, it's not.
This happened a little bit earlier, Sunday afternoon, sometime before the 2 p.m. Eastern hour. Apparently, Trump is fine. Trump is in good spirits. According to Senator Lindsey Graham, he released an email saying that he is safe and well. Quote, there were gunshots in my vicinity, but before rumors start spiraling out of control, I want you to hear this first. I am safe and well. According to the email, nothing will slow me down. I will never surrender. I will always love you for supporting me. Apparently, a suspect, this is according to CNN, who authorities believe is connected to Sunday's incident at Trump International Golf Course, has been taken into custody at this point. A vehicle was stopped. A section of Interstate 95 near State Route 714 in Martin County is shut down. Apparently, the allegation was that somebody actually climbed over the wall at the golf club, and a long gun was recovered at the scene. Secret Service apparently did return fire. The Secret Service said it was working with the Palm Beach.
Yeah, they nuked his account, by the way, for the record, because the American government is afraid that you're gonna find out the truth about him. Okay. Yeah.
Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office to investigate a protective incident involving former President Donald Trump. Again, the campaign has said that he is safe. So that's all we know at this point. We don't know the identity of the shooter. We don't know exactly what gun was used. We don't know anything like that. There are a lot of rumors floating around. And until all of that is confirmed, I really don't want to actually say what it was that happened. The one thing that we do know, apparently, is that the shooter was targeting President Trump. This makes the second assassination attempt against the former president of the United States and Republican nominee for president in about 8 weeks, which is insane. Obviously, this is unprecedented in modern American history. This many attempts on a candidate for higher office this close together. And that does say something about the environment in which we now live. First of all, it says, does anyone even remember the first assassination attempt? I mean, those of us who are on the right do, because it's...
Does anyone even stop spreading misinfo? Your stream says he was shot at. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's a early. Well, there's a lot of question marks.
It's become sort of an iconic video and photo presentation.
It was an iconic video and photo. Nobody cares about it. It's like, yeah, man, maybe that should have been your first indication to recognize that just what people fucking hate him, dude. People fucking hate him. People hate him. You can't keep pumping a narrative when people are just not even remotely interested in it, you know?
President Trump nearly being hit in the head by a bullet, somebody behind him being killed.
Leftists are the real haters? I mean, yeah.
Him getting up and shaking his fist and saying, fight. That became an iconic photo of President Trump. But it's been largely memory hold by the media. In the debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, it was not even mentioned once by the moderators anytime in that debate. It's basically been treated as though it never happened. Now, we all know that if somebody had
What could be a mention of the Trump attempted assassination from the moderators? Like, what could they say? Madam Vice President, do you consider the Trump attempted assassination photo to be iconic? Yes or no? Madam Vice President, this is a yes or no question. Like, what are you saying? Like, what, how could that, he's just so, oh God, he's given up, dude. Ben, you've given up. Okay? You fucking given up, dog. What kind of argument are you making in here? Like, what are you saying? Like, he's not even thinking this through, okay? At least back in the day, he put a little bit more goddamn effort into these fucking stupid ass videos.
attempted to shoot Joe Biden in the head, that would have been not only the biggest story in America that day, but for all the other days, because January 6th has now lasted for 4.
It could have easily been said by the moderators. No, when you're conducting a presidential debate, you have a bunch of obvious issues that you're going to get to. Explain to me how you would have brought up the Trump attempted assassination as a moderator for ABC, as a journalist, as a political commentator, as a news anchor. How would you bring that up? Like, why would you bring that up? Number one. And how would you bring that up? It's not even a thing Trump talks about. Due to the attempted assassination of a former president's life, what does this say about the political climate we live in now? Okay, but that's not about Trump being fucking shot in the ear. You know that, right? And also, the counter to that is not favoring Donald Trump, because the story doesn't favor Donald Trump. Because immediately, Kamala Harris goes, it's completely unacceptable, as I've said time and time again. And you know what's also unacceptable? The fact that Americans can just purchase a gun with ease without any background checks. Boom, it's over. That's not a good question to ask in a fucking debate. When you got environmental issues, you got abortion, you got immigration, you got the economy. There is a finite amount of time to ask questions. They're not going to waste it with some dumb shit. Oh, what do you think about Trump getting almost assassinated? Is a stupid fucking question.
4 long years. If somebody had actually come within millimeters of killing President Biden, then presumably that would have been the biggest story in America for months on end. It would have deeply and dramatically shaped.
Gun control issues are very important, to be fair. Wait, what do you mean? They did bring up gun control. There was a school shooting that happened right before the debate. Yeah, they brought up gun control, a huge issue.
Shaped the 2024 election. The same thing holds true if, God forbid, somebody had attempted to shoot, say, Kamala Harris. This would be the second time in 8 weeks that somebody tried to shoot Donald Trump. And again, this will be buried by Wednesday. How long do you think this story is actually going to last? Now, they say we still don't know the motive of the original shooter. It seems to me the motive was pretty clear. that he wanted to shoot Donald Trump in the head. But there's all sorts of mysterious circumstances surrounding the original shooter. Who was he? We know his identity. We don't know much about his motive. He apparently had encrypted phones and all the rest. It's all very mysterious and all very weird. We don't know anything about this shooter as of yet. We do know that there were foreign sources attempting to create the conditions for the assassination of President Trump, particularly Iran. There are open reports by the FBI. And
Ben, you saw the fucking shooter, dog. Like, you think he was an Iranian agent? Like, honestly, you saw the former shooter, not this one. But this one is fucking really stupid, too. You think the registered Republican from Butler was a fucking Iranian agent? Like, what are you, stupid? Yeah, the white registered Republican who was 20 years old was an Iranian assassin, dude. And now this time around, the former Trump Republican who voted for him in 2016 is a registered Iranian agent.
And the CIA, that the Iranians were attempting to facilitate the murder of President Trump. So it wouldn't be a total tremendous shock if it turns out that somebody had taken them up on that offer. Again, this is all speculative. There's no way to know at this point. The one thing that we do know, again, is that if the situation were reversed, it would be the center of the news.
They did bring up gun control. That's why Kamala said she's gadded up. You don't remember? Kamala Harris was like, I stay strapped, baby. I always keep that thing on me. That's what she said.
For the foreseeable future. Why? Because the entire narrative would be that the right had polarized American politics to the extent that it was now considered within the norm to take a shot at a president of the United States or a presidential candidate from the other party.
Can we please just blow up the entire Middle East off the face of the planet, please? Like, imagine how many issues would be solved. Like, seriously, think about it. Not even in a mean way, like, really think about it. I can't believe John Bolton has a fucking sock account, dude. What the fuck are you doing in here, dude?
So the shoe is on the other foot now. How is it that the entire Democratic Party can center on the idea that Donald Trump is Orange Hitler, that he's the worst person who has ever lived, he's the worst person in the universe, a danger, a threat to American democracy? Two separate people attempt to shoot him 2 separate times within 8 weeks. And that has nothing to do with the climate in the country. Again, I'm not blaming any of the people who say these sorts of things for the actual shooting. The person who's responsible is the shooter. It also happens to be the case, however, that in a really volatile climate, if you continue to increase the temperature, if you continue over and over to increase that temperature, you are going to get worse and worse.
It's pretty funny that they have this kind of smoke for Donald Trump, but then they like don't think about it as far as like Haitian immigrants that they are regularly fucking trying to kill by making up shit about them. That's really interesting. Words are violence, you say. And it like doesn't make sense for Trump because the Democrats never talk about Trump with the actual fucking terms that he deserves. Like Donald Trump has 100% advocated for violence against his political enemies. He has. He's done it time and time again. Donald Trump has also gone beyond that in terms of like advocating for violence against like migrants, advocating for violence against like different subsects of the American population. He does it all the time. He has motivated multiple mass shooters who have named him by name. Multiple mass shooters during his presidency said that they love Donald Trump or they used to love Donald Trump and now they are even more radical than Donald Trump, like the synagogue shooter. And it's really interesting that we just don't think about that at all in this equation and that the real violence actually is saying Trump is a meanie bobini. If I had a fan, okay, if I had as a political commentator a fan of mine go out and actively do an act of terrorism in Canada and then mention me by name to the authorities as my point of radicalization, I'd be very careful about the words or violence narrative. Now, of course, this didn't happen to me. This happened to Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro had a fan literally do this. Yeah, his name is Alexandre Bisonnier, who named Ben Shapiro by name in the investigations. Ben is trying to turn around. Multiple fans of Ben and Tim Pool have done mass shootings and stuff, but this one straight up said his name. Said his videos caused him to become like anti-Islam, anti-Muslim. you can't really point to what the Democrats say in general in terms of like advocacy for violence. There was a guy who worked with Bernie Sanders, who was a Bernie Sanders door knocker. He got an AR-15 and went to the congressional baseball game. He shot a bunch of congresspersons at the congressional baseball game. He shot Steve Scalise right in the ass and dick. Steve Scalise now has to piss into a bag for the rest of his life. Okay? Do you understand why nobody was like Bernie Sanders' violent rhetoric was responsible for this? Because Bernie Sanders has never said a goddamn thing that is violent remotely. Okay? That's the reason. They definitely did try to launch that narrative. It didn't work. My point is, for Ben, he says violent shit on a regular basis. He does blood libel on a regular basis against marginalized communities, against people that don't deserve it, people that cause no harm to others, and people who are oftentimes in underserved communities with no mechanism of pushback, no way to defend themselves adequately. And yet, when those guys are victim to hate crimes led by Ben Shapiro's fan base, led by people who are directly in Ben Shapiro's audience, okay, then words are not violence. What are you talking about? I'm just doing political commentary. Anybody could do that. But when Democrats turn around and say Trump is a bad person, he's a meanie bobini, and he's a dictator, he said it himself, he wants to be a dictator for one day, that's unacceptable. You can't fucking even repeat Donald Trump's words back because that might cause people to shoot him. That's crazy. You can't make this fucking argument. Yeah, Quebec City mosque shooter scoured Twitter for Trump right-wing figures before attack. Bissonnette also appears to have obsessively visited Twitter accounts of Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham, Fox News personalities David Duke, the former leader of the KKK, Alex Jones, conspiracy theorist Mike Cernovich, Richard Spencer, white nationalist and senior White House advisor Kellyanne Conway. Bissonnette checked in on the Twitter account of Ben Shapiro, the editor-in-chief of the conservative news site Daily Wire, 93 times in the month leading up to the shooting. When you're hot, lowlifes really shoot at you. And they try hitting from every angle. Never let the bastards get you down. Why does JD Vance follow the Trump shooter? He doesn't, but that's really funny that you said that.
Situations. Raising that temperature does in fact become a sin when you know that things are this bad. And so it behooves everybody on the left side of the aisle to take down the temperature a few notches, to stop pretending that Donald Trump is a grave threat to the Republic. And by the way, they don't even believe that.
Wait, what the fuck are you saying? Trump says that about the Democrats all the time too, dumbass. Like, that's just politics. What are you saying? It's so funny that this guy is literally like, listen, dude, it's completely unacceptable to run against the Republican Party. Like, that's all he's saying. Make no mistake. He is openly saying if the president gets shot at, you can't run against him. You have to drop. It is unacceptable to say you disagree with a man if he had attempted assassinations on him.
Last week, Joe Biden put on a MAGA hat. He put on a Trump 2024 hat. Would he do that if he actually thought that
It's not just politics. We should stop normalizing this. What? Normalizing what? Two fucking political candidates? Dude, the extreme centrism jumped out and slapped me in the face. He's like, no, you're right. Both candidates should actually stop running against one another and hold hands. Which low-key isn't like that far off at this point, with like a couple exceptions. You know, the Democrats are doing that actively. So you might be a Democrat.